For the screw, how many papers and everything else.
What's that?
in
Can
here?
you say something public right now that I haven't had?
What's that?
I would assume you can.
What?
Because I just wanted to let everybody know, like, we're not gonna lease that street, we're gonna pay cash. I didn't say that on assessment, I forgot to say that. As long as our directors know, from Salt.
Do you hear that? We're paying cash for the remaining balance of the stormwater.
The street sweeper, I forgot to mention it during discussion, just so you know, we're not gonna lease it.
If you want it in a minute, I would assume you could just put it, after you say it.
I think
It's up to you.
it's closed out now, so I really can't say it now.
You didn't say anything, so I don't need, you need to
About
correct it.
saying that we're gonna pay cash for it rather than lease the street sweeper, so everybody knows.
Yeah, I should have told you that.
You can just say it next month.
It went the way
You
that
can say it now.
conversation.
Wouldn't go with
I might say it on my comments account.
And that,
You can, yeah,
I
that's,
don't
I was
back
told.
up for a minute.
he's waiting
Or
for
not.
the email from Bob Fetzer.
All right,
And then they give us the number to go.
are we ready?
Rhonda, so you just said it, she wrote it in the minutes.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and call to order the regular meeting 2 of the Swatara Township Board of Commissioners. It is March 12, 2025, and it is 7:11. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stand for a moment of silence. You may be seated. All right, Secretary Savage, could you do a roll call, please?
Commissioner Tuckey,
Here?
Commissioner Zubek,
Here.
Commissioner Connolly,
Here.
Vice President Steele,
Here.
President Ellis.
Here.
Madam President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. And prior to the stormwater meeting, this board did have an executive session to discuss potential litigation. Now we're up to item 6, awards presentation, and we'll turn it over to Superintendent Stauffer.
Thank you, Madam President, and good evening, everyone.
Good.
If I could have Officer Glass join me up front, please. Officer Glass's wife and kids are seated right here as well. All right, you ready? Yes, sir. Okay. The Officer of the Year Award recognizes continuous, consistent dedication and unselfish effort put forth throughout the calendar year while striving to uphold the mission of the department and exemplifying the core values of duty, honor, courage, integrity, caring, respect, and loyalty. Nominees are submitted by the lieutenants and sergeants of the police department. The recipient of this award is determined by the number of votes that each nominee receives from the entire body of supervisors in the police department. Officer Anthony Glass has been employed by Swatara Township Police since 2017. He was nominated for this award for several different reasons. As a patrol officer, he's taken particular interest in spending his available time by proactively locating and apprehending criminal offenders. He's had numerous arrests that have led to successful prosecutions and the seizure of multiple illegal firearms, large quantities of illegal drugs, and drug-related currency. His reputation for this type of police work has earned him a position on the Dauphin County Interdiction Unit, which is a countywide team dedicated to seizing illegal firearms, illegal drugs, and the offenders associated with both. In addition to his responsibilities in the patrol division, Officer Glass also serves as a member of the Dauphin County Crisis Response Team. In this capacity, he responds to the most dangerous police incidents throughout Dauphin County at a moment's notice, both on and off duty. Officer Glass has also been instrumental in the recruitment efforts being made by Swatara Township to hire exceptional new police recruits. He's a physical fitness training instructor, if you couldn't tell. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. He's been involved in the management of the PT portion of our new candidate testing for the past few years. We have consistently received positive feedback from our applicants that are out testing. It was noted during the nomination process that Officer Glass takes pride in his work and shows sound judgment. He is fair, possesses excellent tactical skills, exercises discretion appropriately, and is compassionate towards others. In conclusion, for providing exceptional police services to the citizens of Swatara Township and Paxton Borough, with the highest order of integrity and dependability, and in a manner that represents the highest traditions of American law enforcement. It's my honor and privilege to name Officer Anthony Glass as the 2024 Swatara Township Police Officer of the Year. Congratulations. You want to say anything? You don't have to.
I'm really blessed to be part of this police department. I started my time with the Secret Service, and I had no family life. I strained relationship with my wife during that time, and we realized that when we want to have kids, which two of my beautiful kids are right here, realized I wanted to move back home to this area to be close to my parents and her parents. And my time here, in addition to what I've gotten to do while being a police officer here, I've gotten to be a father to my kids and a husband to my wife that I wouldn't have been able to do if I would have stayed in my last line of work. So thank you.
We'll do a lot of combinations of pictures, but we'll get out one for you and your wife and your kids too. So if you want to, yeah, get whatever you want over there.
Okay. Shane, you're gonna move back in. Yeah.
We just get out of it.
He said
I thought we were
we're gonna get
I
out.
thought we were getting
Oh, I thought we were out.
No.
Yeah,
Great.
I thought.
I'll get up on my ticket.
Congratulations.
We normally do all police officers in the room, and we'll step out, and then the family for the pictures. Congratulations. Make us look great. You didn't have to go that far. When we say get out of the picture.
Are we, okay.
Got out for free.
We're not in with the police? Confusing that order.
Do you want us in with the police or
I
the
feel like
family?
we usually do get there with them.
Hold on, Sam. We're gonna be in with the police, out with the family. I
We'll
guess.
be in with the police,
I'm-
then
I'm
out
doing
with the
everything to
police,
get out.
then you can do the family and we'll be out of the way. So,
Are you all ready? We go. Got it.
all right.
The police can be.
You guys want one without us?
Right. We're giving you a couple minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ready? Great, thanks.
Before the family takes off, I just want to say a couple things here. I was the public safety director when I was approached about the possibility of hiring Officer Glass. And it was several ranking officers here at Swatara Township said, we got to get this guy. Like that's it. We got to get this guy. And like before you even were hired, before you walked across the stage and it was all done, and the praise you were getting and the potential that you had, and you've lived up to it. You've made us look great on many, many occasions. And personally, you made me look bad because I was in a picture with you in 2017. I did everything I could to suck in my gut. And I said, let's just do another when I'm getting out here. So appreciate everything you do for the township. You have a beautiful family. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations again on behalf of all of us. Yep. All right. We'll go ahead and move on to item 7, visitors' requests and comments. You'll take note on the agenda that it says that this portion will be a 30-minute maximum. You'll come forward, write your name and address as well as state it for the public, and then you may begin. And please try to keep your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have any visitors requesting comments at this time?
Good evening, Mary Klaus, 447 Pritchard Court in Chambers Hill. I usually come before you representing Chambers Hill Fire Company, which I will say, don't forget to come to our fish dinner Friday night, 4:30 to 7, all you can eat, and we had a great start. But tonight I'm here to talk to you about something else, actually someplace quite far from Swatara Township. As you know, you have a box on in the lobby for me to collect glasses because I do medical mission work. I've done 62 international missions over the years. And next month I'll be heading to the Gambia, Africa for my 63rd mission. And I'm here to talk to you about that and to ask you to do something that won't cost you any money, which I know you like to hear that. So when I go there, I do the glasses and I work with an optometrist, Dr. Simon Mendy. And what we do is we set up a little clinic in a classroom of a school. And Dr. Mendy has very little equipment. These are poor people. He's a really good optometrist, but doesn't have equipment. The Pennsylvania Optometric Association purchased a couple $1,000 piece of equipment for me, and they trained me on it. I had spent yesterday in training that will be able to look at people's eyes and see if they have glaucoma or where they are on it. When you go to the eye doctors and you have to open your eyes and they put that puff or something touches your cornea that you don't like that. But I have one of those, and now I know how to do that. I won't do it to any of you. But I'll be taking that and some other equipment. And some years ago, Steve Reed, the late mayor of Harrisburg, knew about my mission work and wrote a proclamation on fancy Harrisburg paper. And I took it to some doctors in the Philippines and Rwanda and Ethiopia, and it was a big hit. And I thought, well, Swatara Township supports it. So why couldn't we have a resolution, which I conveniently wrote, and I'll give you each one. And what I thought is, if you could, at your leisure, I don't need it till April, look at this and put it on pretty paper that I can frame, the one page, with a township seal or something, and whether you all want to sign it or just the president sign it, that will be up to you. But it wouldn't cost us anything, and it would be a nice way to honor a doctor. When you give someone an honor from an American in that country and present it in front of all their countrymen, I'll be doing it at the end of a church service, if you go along with this, it's a big deal to them. And like I said, it's free. You just have to put it on a piece of paper with Swatara Township's insignia. But it means a lot to somebody to get a recognition like that. And this is a good doctor. When we were talking last year, he was talking about doing his laundry. And he told me that they wash their laundry on a washboard, like the pioneers did. I said, a washboard? I said, don't you have washing machines here? He says, we do, but I can't afford it. He's a doctor. I went and bought him a washing machine before I left. But imagine being a doctor and washing your clothes on a washboard in this day and age. And these people just appreciate anything we do. I take 600 pair of glasses. I take all kind of medical equipment. And of course, being me, I also do a tea party for them. But I would appreciate if you would give this some thought and maybe pass this, or you just have to really sign it. As I said, I wrote it, and I can email it so you don't have to type it over to whoever wants to do it. But I thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Mary, when are you leaving? Like, if we were all going to sign it, would you? Okay, so we'd be able to sign it all. We'll all be here, obviously, at the first or second meeting, and then get it to you from there. Of course, yeah. Yep.
I can frame that has to be on one page.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, just it'll be easier for all of us to sign it when we're all here.
Sure.
So,
and thank you very much.
Of course. Thank
you,
you. All right. Yep. You can come forward and state your name and address.
Mary, can you send this to the staff in Word?
Yeah, she said she'll send an email.
Okay.
Good evening. Deb Harvey, 105 South 47th Street
Good evening.
in Lawton. Just a few questions directly actually to you, Commissioner Steele. I think 2 meetings ago I had requested a copy of the contract for the selling of Rutherford Fire Company to Swatara Township. and you were gracious enough to give me your contract. It wasn't signed. I'm wondering, has it been signed? Is it official, or are we still waiting for anything before it's official that you own the fire company, or what's going on with
I can
that?
answer.
I can answer
The
the question.
paperwork hasn't been officially signed yet.
Is there, what's the holdup, I'm wondering? Are we allowed to know that, or?
One of the signers was unavailable when another one had so it's one copy and it has to be signed. So I'm going to say, as far as I know, as of right now, before the meeting, it wasn't signed, but it's something that's going to get to the next place to be signed relatively quickly. It worked its way back to me to go to another authorized signer, and I didn't connect with that person on the day that I had it. I moved it over to the fire chief. For him, I think there's a date where the signers would be together at the same place. So that's the only reason.
Is there a fire chief out there right now? Because I thought that he was not there any longer.
Who's that?
Gornich, or I can't remember his last name.
Dan
The
Gornich?
one that was, yeah, that's him. Is he the chief still out there? Do we know? I'm just asking.
as far
Because I
as-
thought he was a really good chief, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't know any
Is he going to
change.
stay around, or?
Yeah, he's a great guy. So I don't know. I'd have to ask him. I mean, but yeah, You're
Well-
saying
I
the
don't wanna get
volunteer chief, is he staying in the volunteer spot that he's in?
I'm asking, is he going to be in the position of fire chief representing a Rutherford Fire Company?
As far as I know, nothing has changed, but I don't want to answer for the
Okay.
man. That's all I'm saying. Until you brought it up, I didn't even think about it. There is a fire service board meeting coming up.
Well, I was just trying to clarify because I heard that he was not, and I would like him to be.
Yeah,
So,
So I could answer that if you don't mind.
thank you.
I don't have the other.
Dan is still a battalion chief, and he
Okay.
represents all of Swatara Fire and Rescue. And I don't want to get into his personal business, but
Oh, no, I didn't,
I'm-
I didn't mean to do that. I'm
he's
just,
away on personal business.
okay, that's
Yeah, and
fine.
it's probably because they haven't seen him. Some individuals probably
So
haven't
when
seen
he
him.
comes back, he's still going to be,
He's still a battalion
because
chief.
I think he's an excellent chief.
He
and
is.
He responds a lot to the station and gets that equipment out.
Dan's a great guy.
After it's signed then, is there a plan yet, an SOG yet in place where we're going to know exactly what's responding out of that firehouse, when we have coverage, when we don't? Will part-time firefighters be out there to supplement our volunteers, or how is that looking to work in the future? I'm starting to get a little bit antsy because
Yeah, I mean, they're good
we don't have a
questions.
fire company anywhere on Dairy Street right now other than Rutherford, so I'd like to rely on them.
Yeah.
I'd like them to have a crew, and I'd like them to be able to respond to my house and all of the other residents.
I think you have a great crew at a great location. I
Yeah.
don't really see any change immediately between now and the next meeting. There is a fire service board meeting between now and then,
Okay.
so it's ongoing discussions. And as you said,
Okay.
we, it
So as-
wasn't a race to get the document signed either. So, once that happens,
Well, because it's been announced that it's been sold, that's the race to get that signed. Everybody in Rutherford knows.
yeah, we got tremendous response on, thank you. you're
So
right. Appreciate it.
that was my
Yeah.
question about that.
Yeah,
If you're going to announce it to our residents, shouldn't it be signed before you announce that it's been sold to you for $10? That's all I'm asking.
I'm not sure, was that a question or
Yeah, I just said, is it?
is what?
I said, shouldn't it be signed before you announce to our community 2 months ago that it had been sold to the township for $10 by Joe Kennelly, who wrote on social media that it had been? So I'm kind of perplexed why it's been announced. The community thinks that Swatara Township owns the Rutherford Fire Department, company, station, and land that it sits on, and yet you're sitting here tonight telling me you don't have a signed document
I'm
yet.
going to defer to the solicitor. Has that sale been completed, or is that
That's
contingent
really
upon the
all I wanna
signature?
know.
The only thing this board approved at the meeting, was it last month, was the agreement of sale. If that document has not been signed by all parties yet, then the sale has not actually occurred. But even that agreement of sale just creates the framework for the real estate transfer to occur.
Well, I know
So
there
it
was-
wouldn't be accurate for anyone at this point to have said it has been sold. There is an agreement of sale that this board has approved. That's all
Yeah.
I can personally speak to.
I understand. Well, I thought in that contract that listed a date for settlement or closing.
I think it referenced a time period, not
Okay.
necessarily a specific date,
So is-
60 days
Do
from
you
the
have
date of
to do it by
approval.
then, or can you extend that? How does that work?
It could be extended by agreement if both parties were in agreement with that, but I don't think that time period has expired yet
Okay.
either.
Thank you. That kind of
Yeah,
clears it
so
up for
I just
me,
want to be
so-
clear, I didn't remember that we announced that we bought it. I saw people say that on Facebook because of what happened at the meeting, so they just, were putting things out ahead of time. So
Okay. Well,
I think it's a good idea because of the tremendous response in the community to find out that that station is staying long-term in the plans for the township, that once it's officially done, then we, obviously would announce it. We'd want that information to get out. But
It's
when
out.
we said that, we're proposing it or we're in the process of it, then other people might say it was sold, but that doesn't mean it's sold. That's all I'm saying. So I didn't think we made an official announcement. We're waiting for that document to be signed.
Okay.
And I think it's something that, we'd be very excited to make sure as many residents as possible know it because there's always differing opinions, but I mean, most of the people that I've been in contact with are extremely happy that step is a step towards securing fire protection on
Right.
that part of the township.
Right. My point, exactly. One more thing, is there a big fire call tonight? Because it'd be really nice if our fire chief could be here to give the fire service report on a monthly basis. I mean, I'd rather hear, no offense.
Is there a big fire call?
Yeah, are they out on a fire call that I don't know about? or-
We have
Our
one
fire
fire chief, Mike
department?
Giberson. I don't want to give too
I'm
much of his
yeah.
information, but he has a personal reason that's
Okay.
very valid to not be here
Okay.
tonight. And
So
it's
then-
not something we're going to share with the public. And we're
I'm
hoping
not
that.
asking that, and you
No,
know
I'm just-
that.
we're
so
hoping that
I'm
that
just saying
situation gets resolved for
It's
him
been
and his-
consistent that he's not here.
Yeah.
You read it, or the superintendent
Yeah.
reads
Oh,
it.
yeah. We'll make sure someone
We're
reads it.
paying
or-
a fire chief, so we'd like a fire service report from our paid fire chief. That's my point. And if he's got personal problems or he's on a big fire call, I understand that. If not, he should be
Right.
sitting there with the
He
superintendent.
reported to
Okay.
me, and I think I gave the people the information that needed to have the information as to why he would not be able to attend tonight. It's not something we're going to share with the public.
I'm not
and we have
asking
no
you to share
issue
that.
with it. So
I'm not asking
if
you to
he's
share
not
that.
here, someone
I'm
else
done.
will read
I'm
it.
done. Thank you. I get
you.
that. I just think our taxes pay him. He needs to be here when he can.
Okay. He
Or-
has a reason he can't be here tonight.
I don't wanna know.
Your taxes pay him to do lots of things round the clock.
Yeah.
He does not have to be here because you want him to be here.
Not just me.
He wasn't saying that.
Not just
No, I'm just
me.
saying, you're going a little deeper
I'm
into.
saying the superintendent is here every single month, and so is Kevin. And so why is it different for Chief Dickerson to not be here?
It's not. It's
Thank
not.
you.
And when he's able to attend, if he's not doing something or he's not having something personally with his family or whatever, he's here.
Okay.
So, which
Sorry.
it would be the same for all staff members. Actually, it's the same for all staff members.
That's
There are
reasonable.
times,
That makes
right,
perfect
exactly.
sense.
There are times when other staff members aren't able to attend and they won't, and that's fine. So,
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about your family. I hope everybody's recovering.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments? All right, I don't see anyone jumping up. We're going to head and move on to item number 8, motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion with regard to the agenda? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The agenda is approved. We're on item 9, motion to approve the items on the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the consent agenda is approved. We're up to item 10, subdivision land development plan, so I'll go ahead and turn it over to our Director of Planning and Zoning, Mr. Golden.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Madam President. So Commissioner Connolly and I thought it would be beneficial for the community to provide just a very brief update on the Mushroom Hill Warehouse project, which is now before us. I apologize, taking a little bit longer to load. So the proposed project is located at 490 Penhar Drive, which abuts Paxton Street, which is 322 to the north, Mushroom Hill Road to the east, and Rough Hill Road to the west. The property is zoned general commercial. Warehousing or storage as a principal use is not permitted within this zoning district. However, the applicant was successful in an appeal of the Township Zoning Text Amendment in 2022. The PA Supreme Court ruled on the matter, therefore warehousing is a permitted use on this particular property. It's actually 3 different parcels. The applicant, PennDOT, and Township staff attended a traffic impact study scoping meeting last week on the 5th. This is standard operating procedures for every single development. At this meeting, PennDOT provided their preliminary traffic comments based on the applicant's traffic study submittal. PennDOT will lead the traffic review for this project as state routes abut the project. However, our traffic engineer, which is Dahlwood, will be actively involved in the review as well. The applicant formally submitted their preliminary land development plan today. A preliminary land development plan is required because they are proposing the project in 2 separate phases. Phase 1 proposes 3 separate warehouses, which you can see on the screen. Hopefully you can see A, B, C is phase 1 on the right-hand side, and then proposed warehouse D is on the left-hand side. Warehouse A consists of 334,800 square feet of building with 75 trailer spaces, 57 loading docks, and 219 auto parking spaces. Warehouse B consists of 319,600 square feet of building with 67 trailer spaces, 49 loading docks, and 190 auto parking spaces. Warehouse C consists of 334,800 square foot building with 72 trailer spaces, 55 loading docks, and 217 auto parking spaces. Phase 2 will consist of 1 warehouse. Warehouse D consists of 168,480 square foot of building with 30 trailer spaces, 30 loading docks, and 119 auto spaces. The total proposed square footage of all 4 warehouses once fully built is 1,157,680 square feet. If the preliminary land development plan is approved, the applicant will be required to submit separate final land development plans for each phase. The Township Planning Commission will start discussing this project at their meeting on April 1st. And that's my brief presentation, Madam President.
Thank you. Does anyone have any?
Yeah, I just want to, Zach, we appreciate you sending all the paperwork. It's a lot of paperwork. This is something that has generated a lot of community interest in the past. Would we be able to take the documents from the meeting summaries? These are these, I mean, I know each commissioner has it, but is this something that we could update online? If there, this one here was at least a meeting summary from, I'm assuming that was a PennDOT transportation part of the study, like each phase, or is this too much, or is that not allowed?
Usually municipalities will put on the land development plan on their webpage, and then the application will have to be redacted. But I can work with Steve to see what we can.
I'm not
put.
just saying application, like, was this a public document? Is this not a show?
Should be.
Okay, yeah, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I think we get with staff and we try to put as much information on there as we can. Both the kind of the key, the box you have up there is small and it's small in the printout,
Sure,
but if it's
sure.
online, if someone has it on their phone or laptop or computer, they can scroll around and make it big, so they can actually get all the details, because that way, you know, there won't be a lot of people saying that they don't have the information or it wasn't available. So anything that's public about it, I think minimum the diagrams.
Sure.
You know, because there's going to be people that live in that area or have concerns. They want to see how it affects their property. And I don't know if it's in this document, but pretty early into the meeting, it was discussed that this is basically a by right.
Correct.
So there's not going to be as many let's just say, protections that the township could put in if it was conditional use or something else. So I think the sooner we get the information out and disclose as much as we can, and if it's all, I'm very, very happy with that.
Sure, absolutely.
Go ahead, Commissioner Tucky.
Yeah, is that, just to clarify, PA Supreme Court did not rule, from my understanding, but because they didn't listen to the case, it came back down to us as a board. Correct?
I'll defer to Steve on that one.
Admittedly, that was before my time, so I don't know the answer, but I can find out.
From my understanding, that's what the case is.
They would,
So,
They wouldn't take it. You're correct, yeah.
okay, well, I'm not being picky, but I just want the public to understand clearly where this is at. And as a board, we did not act when it came back to us. And it went through a 60-day process. And then the 61st day, we just happened to have a meeting here, and then it was brought up to the public at that point. I just don't see how, by right, they can just plot this facility any which way with no protection for the residents. I just still can't see how that can happen. So, I mean, we do have rules that has to be followed.
Correct. Yeah.
And I would just like to get more information on this because I don't believe that is correct.
So it's my understanding that the warehouse use is permitted by right now on the property. However, they still will have to abide by all township rules and regulations that are on the book, subdivision, land development plan, zoning, other than the zoning use. So the zoning use is permitted by right.
And as a board, we should be able to protect our residents with having buffers set up that's reasonable and all that. So we, as far as I know, we should have plenty to do to still protect the residents. Correct?
I thought we tried to get some conditions and
Those conditions were just standard stuff that they would have to do anyway. But, thank you.
I do just want to clarify for the public that, yes, that it was true that the township did appeal to the Supreme Court and they declined to take the case. And the reason for that is because there was a case, Jane Doll versus a municipal entity, I don't know the name, but if you Google Jane Doll, it's like Jaindal, you'll be able to look it up and read through. But it was something that was decided by, I believe, by the Supreme Court within the time frame that this was going on. So the reason they didn't take it was because they had already set the precedent. So there was nothing new to rule on. There was no interest in taking our case because a very similar situation already took place that they ruled on. And what they ruled, which, correct me if I'm going off the cuff at this point, but was that when we denied their application, when they came in prior to changing the zoning ordinance, we were relying on pending ordinance doctrine. So the Supreme Court ruled in that Jane Doll case that the pending ordinance doctrine does not apply to land development plans. Is that
That was my understanding as well.
So that meant that what we relied on to say, no, you can't do it, was not accurate, which I do have a letter that's from the firm that represents the developer. And with regard to the 60 days, I read this letter before. I don't remember the date off the top of my head, but it is it's a pretty forceful letter, and it's basically like you guys are not following the law. But it says that the deadline to hold a hearing expired at the latest on Monday, June 5th, 2022. So the 60 days didn't restart. The 60 days was from the date of the initial application. We relied on the pending ordinance doctrine based on the advice of the former solicitor, and that unfortunately was what cost us the denial of the application, because they said that's not applicable. So just want to make sure that the public is aware of that. And if I need to, I can go through some of the letter to get some of the timeline. But go ahead, Commissioner Tucky.
Yeah, I just wanted to verify, and I just don't remember, because that's been quite a few months ago now, to the Supreme Court with the refusal to listen to the case, send that information that you're talking about with considering that particular case. Did they say that was the reason why?
I don't think they tell you a reason. They just say, no, we're not taking it.
Well,
We have it. It was sent to us. I don't know. I'd have to look the document up.
Actually, I thought we were told that it was going to be remanded and the lower court would actually be the one to decide whether or not it was deemed approved. And we never went to the lower court to ask them to make that decision.
No, that's not how the process works.
I remember our prior solicitor telling us that it was being remanded back to the lower court.
That's correct. But the process wasn't like that court had already ruled. So hold on, I'll read through it. I'll read through it. I have it
I
up
think I
here.
can frame the question by.
I mean, I'll just read it. They can know
Well,
the process.
I've heard that letter before.
Because
I've
it
read the
went
letter
through
before,
multiple
but that
courts. Like, we denied it. They appealed it. It went to a lower court. That judge said we were wrong. We appealed again, and then it went to a higher court and they said we were right. And then to a higher court and they said we were wrong again. And then we tried to go to the highest court and they said, we're not taking your case. So it left at we were wrong. So it is very confusing. It was over multiple years. It had many different iterations of where we were at in it. So it is confusing, but that's my understanding of it. And like I said, I can read through it to go through the timeline. Go ahead.
yeah, just because the Supreme Court does not listen to that case doesn't mean we were wrong.
It wasn't them that said we were. It was the next court down from the Supreme Court said again that we were wrong. Because initially we were told we were wrong, we were told we were right, and then we were told we were wrong again.
Would anyone like for me to come back next month with a full explanation of exactly what transpired and when?
You can. Like I said, I have it. I can
I have
read through it.
What's the lower court? I'm not a lawyer and I don't
Yeah.
claim to be. What's the lower court underneath the Supreme Court that made the ruling that?
So this would be
we were
the
wrong?
Commonwealth Court.
So, I mean, essentially, if the Supreme Court didn't hear the case, they agreed with the Commonwealth Court.
Correct.
Basically on a mute decision.
If the Commonwealth Court issued a decision that was appealed to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court declines to take the case, then the Commonwealth Court's decision stands.
And there's nowhere else to go.
Correct.
Right.
So I have a question on the project itself. Is the scope of this project the exact same as the other one?
I just got the plan today at 4:15. So I didn't have a chance to look at either.
Well, it appears, the square footage definitely appears different to me, and so does the plan itself. So if you could get me, I would just like to have a comparison of the first one compared to the second one. What changes are being
Zach, if you could send that to all the commissioners, the diagram similar to what you have in that table so we can see.
Sure.
I think there's a difference in the square footage too.
Sure.
I might have been wrong before and these numbers are small, but I thought the other one was just like maybe 1,050,000
Yeah.
square feet. This one's.
It's in that book.
Well, the most important thing.
It's in that book.
The most important
The
thing
old
to
one.
remember is the deemed approval is only on the use.
well,
It's not on the square footage.
Well, I would like a side-by-side comparison of the project itself.
Yeah, I can provide you
Great, thank you.
what we have now.
Yeah, just if you can send it to all the commissioners.
Yep.
Thank you. Does anyone have anything else at this time?
No, I just want to be clear that in part I agree with what Commissioner Tuckey said. There was a 60-day period. Apparently it started in April of 2022. An application was submitted to move forward with the plan, and the township had 60 days by law to move that process forward, and could have, possibly rejected or went through similar steps. It was the same plan. The developer was taking a long shot of trying to move that forward by submitting that on the day they did. Plans don't always get a yes or no from local municipalities. If you don't give it a yes or no within the 60 days, it gets what's called a deemed approval. So if you had a lot of plans and you were going to go through with them, you don't really have to act. This is okay. So 60 days started in April of 2022 to June 5th, I think the date was. So on June 5th or June 6th, without taking action and following the law and going to the next step and complying with the rules, either giving them a hearing, whatever starting the process was, or a permit, to protect them from having it just sit stale and wait forever and ever and ever, they got what's considered a deemed approval. So they were running out the clock. They brought something into the township. The township, it's my understanding, I wasn't here then, but the township talked about this and then took the strategy that we don't have to go forward with it based on some language of something called a pending ordinance doctrine. And the idea behind that was, if we're going to ban something that's, say, detrimental to the community, we're going to ban vape stores or adult bookstores or something like that. The minute we advertise that we're going to ban it at the next meeting, we don't want everybody to race in to get their permits and get in ahead of it. And that's kind of what happened here. There was, and again, I was in the audience, and I'm trying to get caught up on the paperwork now because I do oversee codes, zoning, and planning. But everything I've seen, I think all the letters have been made available to me, and most of the documents, some just came in today, by the township basically not taking the right legal move. Not a mistake, not a delay. The direction of the solicitor at the time, the township didn't take the right move to protect against this happening. The clock ran out, the person got the deemed approval, and weaved through the courts, and here we are. So we just kind of, those other steps from the past, we're not going back. It's not starting over. I mean, it got to the Commonwealth Court, which is pretty high. By the time it got to the Commonwealth Court, and Steve, I think you said this, and I'll wrap this up real quick. There had already been a precedent. This Jane Doll case was already there. So the court said, I'm not hearing that case. It's nothing new. Nothing has to be decided here. You have to follow the rules of the case precedent. And that's what's happened over the years. So, and then just the final thing, Zach is Director of Codes and Planning. He's good. Anything that he can do to protect the residents, any rules, anything that they don't fill out an application, he's going to make them do it the right way. Can't stop the plan. There's certain things within the law, but I think he's up to the task, and he wasn't here during the other process. So I'll just end it there.
Yeah, just let me throw out a date before you go. The application was submitted on April 6th, 2022, and the code with regards to holding the hearing, it says within 60 days from receipt of the applicant's conditional use application, lists out the code numbers, I'm not going to say those, lest the decision shall be deemed to have been rendered in favor of the applicant unless the applicant has agreed in writing or on the record to an extension of time. And then their attorney says that we did not agree in writing or on the record to an extension of time. And then that's where the deadline to hold the hearing expired at the latest on Monday, June 5th, 2022. So just that's from the attorney.
I'd just like to have all correspondence from that part with the Supreme Court denying back to this board.
It was definitely sent out.
I'm not saying it wasn't.
Yeah,
but
just again,
if you
you're
could
requesting it
please-
again.
If you could please resend it, because I'd like to
Or
review that.
is that something you're able to do then, Steve? Yes.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Thank
Thank you. All right. Do we have anything further at this time?
I just want to say thanks for the presentation, the update, and then, because of the size of the scope, this is 165 acres. As we get updates, we'll put out what we have when we have it, as long as it's something we can legally put out there to keep everybody updated. And that goes for if there's a withdrawal or if they change their mind. It's either way, we're gonna keep you updated on it. But the scoping meeting was last week. I see from the minutes it was Wednesday the 5th.
Correct.
I didn't see the actual printed minutes until a day or two after that, and that's why we didn't really talk about it last week. So there may be delays on certain things. It's not anything other than just the way it is. I mean, no one's going to withhold information that we can make available to the public. And I appreciate you, Zach, and I think you'll do well by the township and protect our rights, the citizens' rights, everything you can do. So thank you.
I do have one more question. Has there been an environmental study since on this?
Not that I'm aware of, but I would have to look at it. They did submit a whole stack of papers, literally this much. I didn't get a chance to look at it today, but I can let you know for sure.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, anything further? All right, we'll go ahead and move on to our reports. We're up to 11A, the treasurer's report. Treasurer Yardzinski.
This is for the month ending February 28th, 2025. There was a beginning balance of $24,298,794.11 across all funds. We received $3,145,108.59. We received we dispersed $2,834,743.82 with an ending balance in all funds of $24,609,158.88. And I'll put a graph on the screen to follow. And the rest of the report will be online as always.
Motion.
We have a motion to accept
Second.
and a second to accept the treasurer's report. Is there any discussion at this time? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you. We'll move on to 11B. Solicitor Pocorizzi, do you have a solicitor's report this evening?
I do not, but I am here to answer any questions that arise.
All right. Thank you. And then again, just for the public, we'll get another briefing on the Mushroom Hill project next month. All right, we're up to the fire services and EMS report.
Because of what was going on with Mr. Iverson, I basically said that I wasn't expecting it unless he left it with, so we'll let him, when he returns, give those two reports.
Looks like we don't have the individual from the EMS either this evening. That's fine. Okay. And those will be available online. So now we're up to the police department and community services report. Welcome back.
Just gives me more time. It's good.
There you go.
All right. Good evening again, everyone. I have the police department report for the month of February 2025. We had 979 calls for service in the township and 42 in Paxtang Borough for a total of 1,021 calls in February. Our Part 1 crimes were 1 rape, 2 robberies, 24 assaults, 1 burglary, 34 larcenies, and 2 motor vehicle thefts for a total of 64 Part 1 crimes. We also had 85 Part 2 crimes. They were 1 forgery, 9 fraud cases, 1 embezzlement, 5 for vandalism, 1 weapons offense, 21 drug offenses, 1 family offense, 6 DUIs, 6 public drunkenness, 8 for disorderly conduct, and 26 that fit in the category of all other offenses. On the next page, we had a total of 54 arrests. There were 6 DUI arrests, 39 traffic citations, 80 traffic warnings, 10 non-traffic citations, 17 parking violations, 10 foot patrols, and 10 school foot patrols. Our crime and call trends section there, you can see on the far right, year to date for 25, we have 160 Part 1 crimes compared to 181 this time last year. There's 163 Part 2 crimes year to date. Last year we had 287, so we're trending below numbers from last year, which is fantastic. And our calls for service to date, we are at 2,236, and last year at this time we were at 2,705, so we're just under that as well. That is the police report. The specific calls are on the pages that follow that. The entire report will be posted out in the lobby, and it will also be up on the website tomorrow. Are there any questions about that report? Okay.
I like the new format. I said that before,
Okay,
but
thank
it
you.
makes it
I like it too.
streamlines
I
it.
do have a question. In Paxtang, are they asking for ours, or they just want theirs? Like how we want it.
Paxtang Borough's getting this exact same
They
report.
got the exact same. I wasn't sure if you did it that way.
Yep,
Whether
they're
they
getting the
want it or
same
not.
report.
Right. Whether
Yeah, whether they want it or
I'm
not.
doing one and like that.
And we also got positive feedback from Borough Council. They like the new format as
Good.
well.
Yeah.
So,
And then the other comment is that calls for service.
mhm.
Usually that's a 4-digit number.
In the township, yes.
Yes,
that's
so I'm
correct.
saying that's
Yes.
a good move right there.
Yes.
I mean, I think we were like 1250, 1278 for several months.
Usually.
Yes.
Yep.
So, good
Yeah,
job. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the community services report. On February 18th, February 19th, and February 20th, Corporal Pokrap, along with assistance from Officers Glass, who was here earlier tonight, Officer Hulstein, and Officer Neve, attended career fairs at Mansfield University, Bloomsburg University, and Lock Haven University. We made several contacts with students and potential applicants for our current hiring cycle. We had one team lesson taught at St. Catherine's by Corporal Lex. That lesson was taught to 5th grade students, and the topic was called The Internet, Stay Safe and Have Fun. There was one team lesson taught at Steelton High Spire Elementary School by our school resource officer, Officer Stewart. That lesson was taught to one kindergarten class. He talked about his role as the school resource officer, his duty gear, and canine tattoo, our therapy dog. We had one job shadow in February. That was Isaiah Day. Came in on February 24th, participated in a ride-along with Officer Tillman. He spoke highly about his ride-along experience, and he'd like to come back and participate in a second ride-along with the department. We had 2 child passenger seat installations and checks last month, and that takes me to our upcoming events. We have the Senior Fraud Forum coming up. That's on March 27th. Detective Seiler will be participating. This will be the 2nd annual Senior Fraud Forum at the PSECU headquarters in Susquehanna Township. The forum will feature an expert panel of law enforcement professionals who will be discussing topics regarding fraud and scams against seniors. Attendees will have to pre-register through PSECU's website. The registration process is open. I was on the website today and saw that you can actually do that right online. They have a deadline of March 21st if you'd like to sign up. You can attend in person or online. And even if you're attending online, they'd like you to pre-register so they get some information. And it is free. Our Senior Resource Fair in the Township is coming up as well. This is the 3rd annual Senior Resource Fair. That will be held on April 23rd from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the LCBC Church. The event will feature over 60 vendors who specialize in resources for senior citizens. The fair is free to attend, and it's open to the general public, although no one has to get online and register for that. You just have to show up. Senior citizens and caregivers are encouraged to attend. And one item that's not on here because we just got it scheduled, our Coffee with a Cop event is this Friday on March 14th from noon until 2 p.m. It's going to be at Gura's Spice House at 7200 Dairy Street. So they have Indian and Nepali food, and if you haven't been there, please come. The food is amazing, and they are being very welcoming to our event. So we're looking forward to a great turnout. Any questions about the community services report?
All right.
Okay.
hearing none.
And one final thing, the Swatara Township Police Annual Report is completed. I don't have that on the agenda, but it is done. So I have a stack here. I'd like to hand one out to all the commissioners, and you can read that at your leisure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Now we'll go ahead and move on to the Public Works and Recreation report. And we'll turn it over to Manager Trafka.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening again, Commissioners. I will quickly go over the February monthly report. Public Works, we continued our winter maintenance operations. Public staff continued working at the compost facility, grinding woody waste and setting up our leaf pad. We made repairs to our winter equipment as usual. We performed routine road maintenance, which included pothole patching, sign repair, clean inlet tops as time permits. As discussed in the stormwater meeting, the new sweeper did arrive on March 3rd, and for those that are wondering, the sweeper made its first appearance on February 28th this year. We were able to get out a little bit early, but it has been out every day since, and I'm hoping to continue as long as the weather allows. Staff installed some LED lighting at the firehouse. Staff performed winter maintenance on February 2nd, February 6th, February 8th, February 9th, February 11th, February 12th, and February 15th. And we responded to trees down on February 13th and February 16th. Parks and Rec staff also continues doing their winter maintenance. They continued the park maintenance, such as the maintaining or removing trash, cleaning bathrooms, and routine maintenance. Parks and Recs also dedicated their time preparing equipment. Staff removed numerous trees that were deemed unsafe at various locations. They continue to install some of the dusk to dawn lights at multiple parks for security. They did install the 10-foot gate at Venata at the Little Field. Of course, they assisted Public Works with snow removal. And last but certainly not least, staff went out and replaced roofs at Venata at the small field, put metal roofs on, and I believe they finished up this week with Donald Taylor Park as well. So we have one more. I think we're going to try and get Sioux Drive in, but the staff is now converted to preparing our ball fields for the upcoming Little League season. So they're pretty busy. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you.
Jen, just so we add into the record on this side, I know we discussed it at the stormwater side, but I just wanted to make sure that it was discussed in this meeting too, that street sweeper was, the total cost was $358,058. We received in 23 $177 $900 check from insurance. So the difference that the stormwater authority would have to come up with was $180,158. And the directors agreed to essentially pay cash for that. We're not going to lease that. We're not going to take out a loan or anything on that. We have the funds in stormwater to pay for that for cash.
Correct.
Does anyone have any questions or anything at this time? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we're up to item 12, approval of memorandum of understanding between Swatara Township and the Office of the District Attorney for Dauphin County. I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. By way of discussion, I don't know if Superintendent Stauffer, if you'd like to give the overview for the public so they understand what this is, or if you would like to, Commissioner Connolly.
He outranks me and he reached for the microphone. So Let's have it. Thanks.
All good? All right, there's the microphone. Yes, this is a pretty standard MOU between the township and the district attorney's office for a team called the CARE team. It's the county's child abduction recovery effort team, which our police officers have been participating in since this team's inception in 2007. The purpose of the team is to go out and safely recover missing or abducted children. So it's an incredibly important team. When things like that happen, it's police officers that respond from multiple agencies to try to locate the child. So these types of MOUs are required so that those officers have the ability to come together as a team and go throughout Dauphin County with law enforcement powers.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And we have the motion in a second. Is there any discussion or questions at this time? All right, thank you for the explanation. And all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Move on to item 13, approval of a roadway lighting agreement for Eisenhower Boulevard pedestrian safety improvement project between the Swatara Township, or between Swatara Township and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second, and I will defer to Director Golden just to give a brief explanation for the public.
I'm going to defer to Manager of Utilities, Kevin, because he's the expert on this one. I'm just helping out as Robert was helping.
Gotcha.
How many defers you got left?
Yeah, right.
Defer to Austin.
Yeah.
No, so this is part of the project, the Eisenhower Boulevard safety improvements, the area between Lindell Road and Highland Street. The PennDOT is in the process of finalizing all the design. There'll be new sidewalks up there. There'll be site lighting, traffic signals, and again, there'll be a bike lane when it's all said and done in that section. So this is part of that agreement, I believe, and I didn't hear which one we were voting on first, but I think that was the roadway lighting is first. So that basically it's basically saying that the township will take the operation and maintenance of the lights once they are installed, and that we agree to maintain. So.
Question.
And then just for the public, this project isn't something that we're not financially responsible for. PennDOT is paying for this entire project, and it's going to be something that makes that area, which is very dangerous, safer.
Correct.
All right. Does anyone have any questions or discussion at this time?
Excellent.
Just that I would add that this project has been stalled way too many times, and I'm glad to see that it's finally moving forward, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that we finally get these safety improvements.
Yep. And the only good thing about the stalling is someone else is paying for it. True. So, but yeah, that's it'll.
But we've had way too many
Yeah.
accidents and
Yes,
incidents
definitely,
in
yeah.
that area. So
Absolutely. So, but yeah, it'll be a great addition to the township. So we're very thankful that PennDOT is moving forward finally.
Did we get the 3 lights, Kevin? That was the final 3?
I believe it
3?
was
That's
3.
right, okay.
Yes.
Oh, all right, good.
All right. Does anyone have anything else at this time? All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Now we're up to consideration of resolution authorizing President Commissioner to sign the roadway lighting agreement between the Swatara Township and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which is,
Motion. Second.
and again, this is just the resolution for the item we just approved.
Real quick on discussion before we vote on that. For those of you that aren't aware, this is the area in the township where we've had serious accidents, more than one, I believe, involved a death.
Yeah.
Pedestrians, tough to get across there. But the lighting is what's on here tonight. It's going to have a change in curbing in and out of some of the plazas, and it's going to have some sidewalks and crosswalks. And it's part of an overall plan that hopefully will connect the green belt and biking once all the other development's done around here down Eisenhower and just make the whole area safe. And part of the push with the biking and recreation and things like that is we're going to be developing our own big park around the corner. And the last thing we want is people that are staying in hotels, motels in our community to face dangers. So I agree with Commissioner Zubek. It's long overdue. For a lot of years, even though it's a state road, they wanted contributions from the township, and we do everything we can with the tax money we have. They have a much bigger bankroll. And over time, not necessarily stalling, but just trying to work together. It looks like we're going to get a really good project with basically no money put in for the project. But you know, if we need, and we had talked about this before, crosswalks, bike lanes, you know, those types of things into our park, we're certainly willing to put out money there. But we always felt it was a project that PennDOT should take the lead on, and we're happy that they agreed with us on that. Thank you.
All right. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that's going to be resolution R-2025-24. Now we're on to 15, approval of application for traffic signal location for Eisenhower Boulevard and Highland Street.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. I don't know if I should defer to you again, Manager Trafka. Continuation of these different projects.
Yeah. And forgive me, I lost.
You're good. The Eisenhower Boulevard and Highland Street, the
Okay.
traffic signal.
Yeah, and again, as part of that project, the traffic signal at Eisenhower and Highland is going to be replaced. This agreement is part of that as well. Again, the township won't have to pay to get the signal replaced, but we will inherit the operation and maintenance, costs once they are installed. And I know one of our residents has been here before, and we spoke about the street signs on those signals and how faded they are. When I met up there, when we met, staff met with them a few months back, they are going to take care of all those street signs when they replace those signals too. So, again, we think it's an important project, and we certainly want to move forward. So.
And then, so I don't bug you again, just for the public, 17 is going to be the traffic signal at Eisenhower Boulevard and Lindell Road.
Lindell.
Same thing.
Exact same thing. Again, they'll install, they'll do all the work. The township will take over the operation and maintenance once it's installed.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep.
Kevin, do they come standard with the Opticoms, or is that something we're going to have to request? I think the one at Eisenhower and...
I think they all do now.
Okay.
I think PennDOT has been converting over
That's
to
just
the
the same.
camera system. They're getting away from the sensors that are in the ground, the loops. They get hit from time to time or damaged. So I'm pretty sure that the state has been installing the Opticon or the camera system with all their recent upgrades. So.
Yeah, that way the police and the fire trucks can, and I don't know if the police have the Opticoms, you guys don't. I know the fire trucks,
Fire
they can
does,
they
yeah.
can change the light for them, so that's huge benefit for the bigger fire trucks.
Would it be beneficial to just amend the motion to include both 15 and 17, since they're both the same and do not have a resolution number?
I think we have to have the resolution.
Oh.
That's PennDOT's request. And
Understood.
Yeah,
They'll break
that's
out the bidding.
which that's why I was like, let's
Yeah,
go ahead and
yeah,
get the
that would-
discussion out of the way so we don't have to.
Easier.
Yeah,
We could do it that way.
yeah. But I appreciate the suggestion towards.
We are at 15, right?
Yeah, no, yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right, do we have any further discussion with regard to the traffic signals since we jumped around a little bit? No. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so we've approved the application for the traffic signal at Eisenhower Boulevard and Highland Street. Now we're up to consideration of resolution authorizing President Commissioner to sign the application for traffic signal approval, Eisenhower Boulevard and Highland
Motion.
Street.
Motion.
We have a motion.
I could be second if you.
We have a second. All right, I'll call for discussion. I'm going to assume there is none. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's going to be resolution R-2025-25. Item 17 is approval. What if we do this? We'll do
Motion.
items, motion for 17 and 18
Motion for
together.
17 and 18
Motion.
together.
Motion second. Jen, you can pick who's what. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, so item 17 and 18 are approved. Item 18 is going to be R-2025-26. All right, we're up to item 19, approval of advanced disaster recovery, Inc. quote, township building renovations. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, and then we'll go ahead and open it up for explanation and discussion.
I have questions.
Does anybody know the last page of the lighting?
You just gotta keep going through it. It's
It's the resolution's gonna be the last page, and then it should get you to the other one.
Yeah. You want this?
No, I'm in there. I can move on.
Well, are you giving the explanation for the public? Or would you like to, Vice President Steele?
I couldn't care less who gave it, doesn't matter to me. Ms. George, you wanna talk a little bit?
Yeah, that's probably best.
You to start, and then we'll feed off of you.
And then
I
we
think
can go into
everybody
the
up here
questions.
pretty much is involved some way, shape, or form of, across multiple boards of, you turned yourself off.
All right, that might work. So I think this just kind of circles back around. Over the past couple months, there have been some discussion about doing some building renovations to kind of deal with some of the building problems that have been going on. One was, I think the original project kind of started in the police department, which was we had some health concerns that were raised, and really that's been an ongoing issue within the police. We had to provide some air quality testing last year, and as a result of that, in deteriorating conditions within the building, I think that have been going on for quite a while. In the police aspect, we reached out to the folks that were involved in the air quality testing. We've had them involved in the past couple years in coming in, which was kind of part of what led up into the discussions of building, remodeling and a new building leading up to now. So that was kind of one of the things that we wanted to evaluate. So we had them come in, do a walkthrough in the police department. This was kind of, I don't know, at the end of last year at some point, just to give us an idea of what we really needed to do to try to get the air quality issues resolved within the police department. And then once we completed that, we asked them, or actually the sewer authority was looking to do a project as well within their space. So they were, while they were here, more or less, they were kind of shifted over into that area to see what the pricing would be. They provided that information to the sewer authority to kind of resolve that. And then the last piece was here in the admin building, or the admin building, but within this space in its whole, I believe a month or so ago, we had approved to be able to get the audiovisual system up and running. When those folks came back in, we had them kind of walk through the space, see what needed to be tweaked or added to the design of the audiovisual. There was some question about, could we make it a little bit easier for the system by removing the ceiling that's in here, taking that up a little bit higher, making that better for the video wall that'll be on the back space, and then replacing the lighting that's in here as well, which is all the fluorescent lighting. I know Gavin had mentioned last week about the lighting in here, and it really is terrible. Unfortunately, what we're running into is these fluorescent bulbs are driven off of, they call them old tar ballasts, and we're struggling with finding the parts to be able to replace the items that are here, and to really to be able to get them swapped out. It's just easier to go to LED lighting. So that was part of the project as well. And I know Commissioner Zubek and I had talked prior to my dad getting sick, and that kind of threw a wrench, unfortunately, into our discussions. But we did get some pricing, and that's what was really just put together for you folks. So
Thank you. You wanted to ask a question?
Well, more of a statement. I mean, he's right, it did throw a wrench, and we didn't have an opportunity to actually sit down and talk and go over any of the requests or the options. So I'm assuming you took the initiative and went ahead and did that. But my question is, have we sought out any other quotes, or is this the only company that we sought out and received quotes from?
So they were, although it says Advanced DRI on the page, it's actually Service First Restoration who's done work for us in the township. They had completed the restoration of the firehouse when we had the situation
I was
down there.
involved in that, and they did an excellent job.
Absolutely.
At the firehouse.
So we kind of went back to them because they did such a good job for us, and because they were involved in the air quality testing for the police department. Because that was such an intricate piece of what they do with, if we would have run into any asbestos, they would have been the key player to it. A general contractor wouldn't have been a good person to be involved in that. Mold, which we did run into that within several parts of the building. That was one of the questions in the air quality was, do we have any mold within the building? We didn't find any in the air quality, but we did find it in some spots where we had leaks within the building that needed to be rectified and dealt with. So we just kind of felt like they would be a good partner to stay consistent with, and they are co-stars. So that was ultimately, in the past, every time we've used them, we've never had to really go out to bid. And we did the same thing with the firehouse. We didn't put that I don't believe we put that out to bid.
We did have 3 quotes for that one.
Did we? Okay.
Yes.
It's been a while. But
I've always been more, of a preference of having multiple quotes, at least 2 or 3, just because residents want to know that we've looked at other businesses. So.
Yeah, they were the ones that that was kind of the steps that led us up to go on the route of using them. And if we were to get into a scenario where we get some walls opened up, because it was replacing the carpet, it was replacing the ceiling tiles, the lighting, getting all the wallpaper off the walls, those kind of things that really needed to be dealt with. But anything that we would have run into with opening up spaces where we would have, again, something that's within, the air quality issues, they would be a good person to be able to deal with that. Again, we've used them for that aspect leading up to it.
Thank you. And then one more question. The elevator, I know, I don't believe I was at that meeting. I think I was sick, but I was recovering from something. But that particular meeting, is that included in the renovation? Is that going to be done anytime?
It will.
Is that moving forward?
Yeah, it is moving forward. We did approve that. We're just waiting on them to get the parts for, basically we gave them the approval to move forward. We're just waiting on them to get the parts in for it. But we are moving full steam ahead with that one.
All right, thank you.
Could you nicely remind them that we're waiting? We've been carrying more and more things up and down the.
Yeah, I certainly will.
Some of our police can attest to that.
Yeah, I know. Friday or whatever day we had the event downstairs, and the folks were bringing the food in and out. It's like, yeah, that's
strong officers. That,
yeah, I will do a follow up with them. And again, I apologize. I'm trying to get caught up on some things that were going on with my dad's health issue.
Not blaming you, just saying to them, hey,
no, absolutely.
Where are we at on your list? That's all. Just a reminder. Don't get them mad. We don't want to go to the bottom of the list.
And that's a great question. And just I'll just add on, because I know you weren't able to make that meeting. The audiovisual, I know we had approved that night as well. That is moving along. That product was ordered, and we're just waiting for that to come in. There's a little bit of a process. They order it. They do a little bit of a burn-in time because it's electronics equipment. So that'll be a little bit of little bit of delay till we get that installed, but
Ahead of the tariffs.
Thank you.
ahead of the tariffs, yes, yes.
Madam President. I ask that this board consider at least 3 quotes on anything that we have out to be having done. And it doesn't look like we're going in that direction at all. And I'm nothing against the company you picked, but I really think for the residents' sake, we need to start doing that. I stated my concerns in January with the audio video system. And I'm not saying that company's bad, they're not. But I still think we need to get other quotes for the same exact items. And I voiced my concerns that night, and it's still not being done. And I don't understand why. With the elevator, I did have a resident reach out and asked about it because they wanted to have an event here, and he was told he couldn't because of special issues with some of the.
Sure.
And it'd be nice to get a time frame from these vendors. It's not like it's a few bucks we're paying for this stuff. That was just over $100,000. I understand they can be waiting for parts, but it's been 2 months now. Also with the audio video system, it's been 2 months. And I don't know the first thing when it comes to that. You said about burning something?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, they take, because it's electronics, what they'll do is they'll actually take it out of the box. They'll power it up for a certain amount of time to make sure that there's no issues out of the box. They do that typically with any of the audio, visual, the Pro Gear, for the reason of, instead of giving it to us and then we end up having an issue and going that route, they'll actually, they call it a burn-in of the electronics devices.
But there again, it's been 2 months.
Sure.
So I would like to get an update of exactly when they're planning on installing this, because I want that system installed.
Yeah, no,
As fast
absolutely.
as possible, because it's beneficial to the residents.
I agree. And
That's in conjunction with if we approve this tonight.
correct. So
Right.
there was, so that was moving along, but part of that was with getting this underway, that will allow us to be able to get this space renovated. And once we renovate that in the process of them getting all their wiring run and everything in place, that will actually make this space, it'll really take care of getting us.
This room isn't up to technology to be able
Correct.
to handle that.
Correct.
I guess that's the
Yeah,
best way to
yeah. I'm trying to think of how to word it politely.
From memory, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You can go. I'll go after you. You're fine.
Well, from memory, the elevator, like I said, was just over $100,000. It's not a few bucks. The audio video system, from memory, I think it was $164,000 or $8,000. I mean, it's not just, and I understand what you're saying about having this room fixed up for the
Sure,
system to be
sure.
installed. But it'd just be nice to get a timeline.
Sure.
And have this stuff start to be used.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I can certainly I can keep all the board members in the know with that as we move forward. Again, I was trying to kind of handle this while I was out, and I do apologize. I'm sure we could have been done.
I'm not going there. I'm not, look, it's not that at all.
Sure.
But I would like this board to actually start when things go out for bid, or we're looking at something big, we need to get at least 3 different companies for quotes.
I just want to clarify that. So for the audiovisual equipment, we did have 3 quotes.
We did originally, yes.
you did.
We had a company out of Lancaster, we had a company out of Mechanicsburg, and we had the one that we chose.
Yeah, for the elevator thing, we went through CoStars, which that's what we're doing here again.
Correct.
What is it? Capital area of government. You have to go through a process to be through it. If you choose those vendors, then the requirement for quotes from multiple vendors is not there. I understand the question with regard to looking into it, but they're generally the lowest prices anyway, which is why it would be advantageous for the township to choose vendors from that list. So that's just for the public. That's the difference. If it's not a vendor that is CoStars, we absolutely will get 3 quotes. If it is the CoStars vendor, then it's essentially kind of already been vetted, that it's going to be a price that is intended for government, for for tax dollars.
Right, right.
I thought the first one was 13 million. The first remodel.
Which one?
The quote for the first remodel was like 13 million.
For this building, that was stated. I'm not aware. But yeah, that was stated in
that
public
was on a previous building.
that it would be that cost to renovate this building.
Yeah. But Brendan, I just want to say I appreciate what you're doing here. We just talked about highway things where unfortunately people have died.
Right.
And between PennDOT, the township, and all these other things, that took 6-7 years. We also deal with things that beyond our control are delayed. So I agree with Commissioner Tuckey that maybe you gently just see, hey, when's it coming?
Sure.
But we've had situations here where people aren't always interested. And to continually get 3 bids only to not hire 2 of them, what if that's their specialty later on? So I like the CoStar's option that they've already been checked out and verified, and they're kind of in the system, and we can get those. We're actually saving time rather than going through the bid process. And we know what it's like with township trash. People don't like Penn Waste and all
Right.
this. They're the only people that bid. So what are we going to do? Really irritate them, piss them off, and not have trash piling up everywhere? So
Right.
whatever you can do within your control. And I'm only speaking for my part of this. I'm just curious. I'm not upset.
Sure.
With either you or the vendor. We don't know how many things they're putting in, but it's a different climate now. And I remember when you wanted somebody to come to your house and fix your plumbing or your electric or something. You got to be nice now. They might not come. So let's be careful. How it's handled, but at the same time, an update. And just say, hey, we're checking into this.
Yeah, and I can certainly do an email to everyone on the board and let you know. I'll follow up with both. I have been getting weekly updates from Illuminated. Now that we've kind of started our progression with them, they've been really good about sending a weekly check-in just to make sure hey, this is kind of where we're at with things. Our next step is X, Y, Z. So really, our next step was. We didn't want to get, we know we're moving along, but we didn't want to get too far with the laying out specifically where these speakers are going to go in each space, and they'll work with our contractor doing the remodel hand in hand. I mean that's part of what we pay for because they're going to come in and they're going to sit down together and they're going to say, okay, this is where everything's going to go down to where the wires come down the wall. They're going to handle all of that. And I think you all honestly will be very pleasantly surprised at the completion of the remodel of the space as a whole. It's a long time coming, and I think, we tried working pretty diligently to get something that will really just spruce things up for the public, to come into a new space without really changing the framework of the building per se.
And I like that. These are things that are modernizing. Like other municipalities,
Right.
They do it when they can. So, we're not linked to health of our employees.
Yeah.
So we want to move, as
Right.
quickly as we can. And the elevator, we had talked about that. There was other bids, but they weren't really that interested in doing what we needed to be done, or they were hard to get in touch with. As far as this building, that's a company that was right on our border and now is in Lower Swatara as far as the
Illuminated?
yeah.
Yes, correct. Correct.
And then the company that we're talking about tonight, unless they move, they're on East Park Drive, right?
Correct.
So it's a different name,
Right.
but it's somebody that we've relied on for lots of things, mold, water damage, COVID.
Yeah.
Help.
Yeah,
So-
they did all of our COVID
so-
spraying.
so they're
they've
very familiar. Their CoStar, I think they give us a great price. They've done other things here, so I have no problem with them, doing that. And probably some of this was a little bit outside of their normal thing, but they have the ability to do it.
Yeah, they definitely had some good
Yeah,
contractors that are going to
At
be
the same
involved
time,
in it.
we're going to spend some money to get this stuff fixed up here, to modernize the building, help with health, do all these things. We're not spending $13 million to renovate, and
Right.
we were told that that's what it would cost to renovate, or $18 million to build a new one. So, we're doing what we can with the money that we have, and it clearly is in the capital project plan and part of the building thing that we all voted on. We only left a pot of money to make repairs. We don't have a pot of money to demolish or build this building. So I think you're stretching the budget and you're doing a great job. So I appreciate it.
Yep, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good job.
So I have one more question. There's a big difference between a renovation and a remodel.
Yes.
A renovation.
All the carpet will be coming out. We will not have any carpet within the admin section any longer. It'll all be LVT. It's laminate vinyl. I'm sorry, LVP, laminate vinyl plank. It's basically plank floor. Pergo is the most famous term of that. So it'll be a wood-looking floor. It'll be a commercial, high-quality grade flooring, which will be made to withstand a lot of years of usage, and it'll be easier for the staff to maintain. They won't have to worry about trying to run a vacuum. What we've really run into, and I just want to add to that, is the carpet that's been here so long, and this is what we ran into in the police department, is that when they were running the vacuum, the material in the carpet is actually drawing through and it's becoming airborne because the carpet's so old it's breaking down. So that's what one of the contaminants was, if you will, in the police department. But again, going back to here, it'll be carpet. The ceiling tiles will be coming out anywhere where there's a 4x2 ceiling tile. They'll be getting replaced with one similar to what these are, 2x2. There'll be 2x2 LED lighting, which will be, fantastic. It'll take all of this out. We won't have to worry about the ballasts. The walls will be getting all stripped down. All the wallpaper will come off. It'll get all repainted. And then our new screens will go up here, the speakers in the ceiling. We're actually looking to do the video wall in the back and then to redo the dais, where this will actually be gutted out. We'll come down a foot. So instead of having 2 steps up, you'll just be one step up to a new area. And it'll actually have, similar to what was at Hampton Township, which was an oval-shaped dais. It'll be that type of a structure, and then each commissioner will have their own screen in front of them to be able to see what's on the screens out here. So we're trying to. Really, there's going to be some work with wiring and what have you. So this is the perfect time to be able to kind of redesign that dais along with the audio-visual system.
So it's more cosmetic.
The innards of the building, if you will.
Got it. So I do want to mention, I know when I first got on the board back in 2018, one of the first things, and I think one of the things that you first brought up to me, was that we had some serious electrical issues with the building. So I don't know, has that been something that's been looked at since?
No, I mean, we didn't really get that far into... Is there still going to be electrical issues? We fortunately have not had the issues that we did previously. What we were running into was the heaters in the hallways out here. We had a heater in the back that had malfunctioned. A lot of those were wiring, but they were also as a result of what the component was linked to it. Like the HVAC unit in the back had burned up a few years ago. But yeah, we did not get down into that. We would have some cost, significant cost with that.
Just to help with that, there's still more money in the fund, and there will be additional repairs as money allows. But this was all kind of be like timing, and we have some specific needs with some health issues and air quality issues that need to be addressed sooner. So just to be fair here, I think all the things that you could say that may be defective or needed to be updated will still be looked at, but they're not on the agenda tonight.
No, I guess the point I was trying to make is I was told there was electrical issues. It seemed to have dissipated. We're doing the cosmetic changes, and that's good, but I hate to have an issue when you're doing cosmetic changes, you're spending money, and then next thing you know, your brand new wall has a hole in it because there's an electrical problem.
Yeah, I think fortunately the majority of what we're doing even if we did decide, in a year, 2 years, whatever that would be to, let's say, just replace all the HVAC. Because I know that was one of the questions Austin had asked was there any changes getting made to the HVAC? That was replaced back in 2012. We did have a few years of some issues with that, but once we put the cooling tower in out back, that really resolved the majority of the issues that we were having. So instead of really looking at, do we want to spend another, $500,000 in replacing the heat pumps that are in the building, we said, it's probably not, they could be done individualized versus replacing everything, having a large sum of money tied up into just replacing them when it's not really needed right now. But I mean, we could, depending how far you want to get into, we could certainly look at other things and, would there be in the next couple of years, some interest in replacing and or doing maybe some wiring aspects or, the fire alarm system. I mean, there's a lot of things that could be done. It's just, how much, like, where do we want to head to and what would the direction be? Again, this was primarily just kind of the cosmetics of the spaces to try to, especially in the police department. I want to hammer on them, but that was the main priority. What really drove this was we have to do something, and I'm sure we're having them over here in the admin section. So that was kind of why we were like, we got to get the carpet done. That's a priority. And when you get up into the ceiling, the previous roof that was here before they did the rubber roof, it was like a stone and tar roof. It was the old school style. A lot of that roofing material is actually laying on these ceiling tiles up above. So one of the things I had asked early on was, hey, can we rip out all the ceiling, get all of that contaminants and all that material out of the ceiling, and get that clean, so we don't have that as another health issue, for anybody, police department or, admin wise.
Individuals that came in to do the inspection are satisfied that we no longer have an electrical problem.
I just want to add one other thing I think will clear this up and make it make sense. At the same time, we're talking about admin and police, and I think we had said it prior, but the sewer authority, which rents space from us, they're doing the renovation.
Correct.
So I was in on some of the conversation when the quotes were being prepared. The people that are going to be working will have trailers and things like that, be able to leave materials inside whether they work at night or weekends, and we'll be able to rotate the staff out, which I think has already started. We're making some preparations for that.
Right.
So really we would have multiple things going on at the same time, and I took it, the vendor seemed to be happy about that, and I think that was reflected in the quote, rather than have something done and then bid another thing and bid. So it's kind of like, a process.
Yeah, it actually kind of worked out well to have them all done or, in close time frame to one another. There's some things they're going to be doing in one section to knock that out while they're working in, such as sewer. While they're working in sewer, they're going to be over here taking care of some things. Again, we'd love to do all three of them at the same time, but just trying to work around their timeline as well.
So between the visual and audio, the elevator, and the renovation, it's approximately $500,000.
I'd have to.
About $500,000, give or take.
More than that.
It's almost 800.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think it was. I was trying to jot the numbers down. So
for the
This project, the quote that's in front of us, it's 307,000. Did I say that right? I always mess up the numbers. 307,191.30 is the quote that's in front of us. I want to say it was actually between 160, 180 in that range for
the audiovisual was around 180.
Okay, yeah. Okay. And then
and about 100,000 for the elevator.
Okay.
About 100,000 for the elevator, minus some miscellaneous things electrical wise, which we will be doing some electrical upgrades in there just to go along with Commissioner Zubak.
And since you circled back, well, I have a couple of things, and then Commissioner Tuckey's been waiting patiently to go again. But I just want to confirm, you said there is no carpet, correct, through any of the...
Correct. Okay. Our goal was to eliminate the carpet as a whole.
Okay.
That way we did not have to worry about running a vacuum cleaner. It'll be able to withstand, dry mopping and wet mopping as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Just that. And then, I want to go back to the co-stars versus quotes things, and then like with the timeline. So we had a situation before with Anhart Park where we were trying to get a fence put up.
Okay.
And it took a very long time for us to get the 3 quotes because no one was interested in the project. So that was something that was delayed for minimum 6 months. I think it was longer than that, but off the top of my head, I don't want to give an exacerbated amount of time, but it was minimum 6 months. So that's one thing that, as you were saying, like that you can run into when you have to do the quotes, and they weren't co-stars, so that we had to do it. We didn't have a choice. We had to get 3 quotes. So I know our engineer had to work pretty diligently to try to get companies that were interested in providing the quotes. And then with regard to the elevator with utilizing co-stars, that is something that's niche. So there might not be 3 vendors to even attempt to get a quote for.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I shared that night when we were talking was I had reached out to so Schindler is the one that's doing the project for us.
Okay.
Otis was the other one that I reached out to. But what they were hesitant on giving us any type of pricing because they wanted us to basically get on board and commit and sign a contract with them. But we were already linked with Schindler, and so we're already paying with them, and we would have had to, again, I don't know off the top of my head if it's a year-to-year contract, but we would have had to breach, I'm sure, a contract with them. So there could have been a cost associated with that. But I mean, Schindler's been good to us. We've had them for a number of years. Otis was our original elevator company, but we had switched over because of pricing years and years ago. And I just wanted to add to what we were talking about with the 3 bids. The one thing that I ran into, again, Illuminated, they were great to work with. We were looking at them. I know Commissioner Zubek and Commissioner Varner, I believe at the time, had gone over to their previous office in Pembroke when they were over there. So we had the opportunity to go meet with them, look at them for the new building design, and they were great to work with. The other companies, I did not know who the one company was. It was just somebody I reached out to because they said audiovisual. They were in Lancaster. The third one, which was, I won't share their name, but a company in Mechanicsburg, who is very well known in the industry, but we really struggled to get pricing from them. In fact, they do a lot for schools, and I really felt like that we were a very small project to them, and they didn't want to really give us the time of day. So I struggled with getting the price from them. I mean, the guy really didn't even want to come back out. It was like pulling teeth with him. So I do, I understand the process of trying to get that to compare. And those 3, they were within, close proximity to one another. And again, if we'd have been specifically apples to apples, they may have been closer than what we actually thought. But I think Illuminated will work well for us. Again, they're in Lower Swatara, they're on Fulling Mill Road. They do a ton of work with government entities already, school districts, and so I think they'll be a good one to deal with the audiovisual for long term and moving forward. If we want to incorporate them in the other building process, I think they'd be a good link to do that with.
Yeah, and just the reason that I'm saying that stuff is just we are vetting as we can and trying to make sure that we are getting the best price. So I just wanted to stress that. But go ahead, Commissioner Tuckey.
Hey, Zach, the electrical panels we have out in the hallway, would they be allowed in today's construction to be used?
Sorry, I'm trying to see if it's that down. There you go.
Sorry, Commissioner Tuckey, I'm not a UCC designated official, Uniform Construction Code official, so I can't answer that question.
Okay, well, through codes, I thought you may know. I could be wrong.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're fine. I was told a few years ago, actually, the electrical box out in the hallway should be replaced. It needs to be replaced. If we're spending this kind of money to try to modernize this building, I think we need to be, no disrespect, but smarter with how we're spending the money. We need to look at replacing the electrical panels, wire. There's been plenty of comments over the years with staff members in here about our HVAC system. It's still not right, even with all the money that was spent. That was also part of the reason why the quote was out there, which was higher. It was actually for a reason. Because instead of, lack of a better term, putting a Band-Aid over something, making it look nice, it was actually taking care of the issues. And if we're going to spend taxpayers' dollars on something, I want it to be spent wisely. And no disrespect by making the comment, but that's how I feel. And like I said, if you look into it, if you can, if you don't mind, what I'm saying is true about these panels. And you're fixing the walls up anyway and doing all that, you might as well get the electrical done, in my view.
Can I say, we're adding things to it. We finally got to the point to make improvements to the building. And now you're telling us that you knew something was wrong for a couple of years. You sat up here 3 years and you're bringing it up tonight. Tonight we have something on the agenda and a vote to actually move ahead. Anything else could be added later, but it can't be added tonight because this is what we advertised to vote on. This is what we got in our packet, and this is what the work was done on. So I'm not disputing that there's more things, but to say we can't do these things because someone said the air conditioner doesn't work or someone said there's an electric panel doesn't work, I'm not sure how that moves us along tonight to making improvements. Let's come back later. Why don't you make a list of all the things that are wrong? We'll run it by the guy that handles the building. But tonight we're talking about moving forward on things that were vetted, bid, we're ready to make moves. And then we bring up, well, before you do that, you might want to do this, or that's a bad idea, or no disrespect, but you're doing everything wrong. That's not what we're here for. We're trying to do the right thing with the funds that we have, but not eliminating all your concerns for a future meeting.
From my understanding, this is to be able to start the work, correct?
What you have in front of you is the...
Exactly. So this is the time this stuff should be looked at. And the problem is, we don't have any say into the packet that was put together. The problems with the possibility, problems with the building. And I'm not bashing Brandon or anyone else in here. You know, we're here for a reason. We're here to try to save the taxpayers as much as we can and do a good job. And by making these comments, I'm not bashing anyone. I'm just saying very clearly, if we're going to do something, let's do it right from start to finish. Instead of putting a Band-Aid over something, instead of making it look, the appearance looks great, and then here we're going to have issues in a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. It shouldn't be done that way. And you borrowed the money, Commissioner Conley, a few years ago. That was for the building. So this majority of this board's going in this direction. I'm just stating simple facts. If you're going to go forward with this, and I believe, I'm all for fixing it up for the police. We wanted to have a brand new facility for the police. But that's not going in that direction right now.
No one has $44 million. Okay, that's what you wanted.
That number is completely
that was a
false.
lie. That was not
Completely false,
$44
and
million.
You will see it in the near future that it's
Every
false.
time you open your mouth, lies come out.
So I'm not, no disrespect to anyone in the audience. That's my concerns. I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I actually don't have an issue with renovating the building with the understanding that it is a Band-Aid. So I'm supportive of doing, correcting some issues in the police department so that our staff has a safe and comfortable working environment.
Yep.
So I'm okay with that. But I don't think, putting a Band-Aid is going to work. But the majority of this board's going to throw the money away. Not throw it away, but it's not a good utilization. But I care about our staff, and I care about our police, and I care about them having a comfortable working environment. So I'm not going to, be opposed to this tonight, but I would like us to actually look at, what's behind the walls at some point. Because I will repeat myself, Commissioner Connolly, I remember when I first got on this board, I ran against a Taj Mahal on Bishop Tract. I ran against that. And people on this board at that time tried to back me into a corner and tell me that we were in dire need and we had electrical problems, we had plumbing problems. They took me on a tour through the police department and showed me mold spots. And I agreed that we had an issue. I agreed. And now the electrical issues seem to have dissipated somewhat. That's great. And, the plumbing problems seem to have dissipated somewhat. Great. I don't think the problems really went away. I think it fits the narrative. But that's okay, because our police deserve to have a comfortable working environment. And I'm happy to vote on that. Thank you.
15 months. It was your administration for 2 years, and you did absolutely
We did a
nothing.
fire
It's
station.
it's my turn to talk.
We did a fire
I didn't
station.
interrupt you. I did not interrupt either one of you. I didn't interrupt anyone on this panel. 15 months we've been here. This building has been talked about probably since you've been here. So I don't know when you got here, 2000, I think I remember 2008, 2009, almost 15 plus years.
We've been through some.
The Taj Mahal at Bishop Park, if it was built, it's going to be cheaper than any building that we could build today. So
Not really.
bureaucrats. We
Your
continue,
numbers.
we continue down this road of I should have, could have, would have, but you didn't. At the end of the day, you didn't. You had control of this government for 2 years. The majority has control of this government 15 months. We're getting something done. I am so sick and tired of going back of woulda, coulda, shoulda. You didn't. You had control of the government. Local government is the easiest to make changes when you have the majority. But what I'm asking for is all 5 of us to get on board and fix a problem that we already know we have. We can hash out what happened in 1947. That doesn't change what's happening right now in 2025. The police have been suffering in a building that's causing problems. Look at this place. This is a representation of the taxpayers. I can say all day long that, we want to save this, we want to save that. That all sounds great. They're catchphrases, right? That sounds great. You have a $20 million bond that was borrowed. It's either you draw down the bond or every penny that the taxpayers have already spent out of debt services, you wasted your money. And then you're looking at penalties and fines from the IRS. That's the reality of the whole situation. So we have to move forward with Bishop Park that was delayed. We have to move forward with some type of building. We have to move forward with the remodel. The bond has got to be drawn down. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. We can sit here and argue about the money shouldn't have been borrowed, how much it was borrowed for. We can go back and forth all day long. Let's make a decision. Let's stop caring about what you should have did 2 years ago or what we're doing now. Don't get upset because the decisions are finally being made and things are actually happening. I brought this up last meeting. This is nonsense. You got to stop.
No one's upset, Commissioner Steele. I'm not upset. I
Commissioner
spoke my
Tucky.
piece, but I didn't scream at people.
I didn't scream at nobody. Hey, that screw should be changed. That switch for the light should be changed. The LED should be. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. Even if we decide to build a new building, there's something we're going to miss. That's just the large scale of the project, and we're going to say shoulda, coulda, woulda, but we didn't. And we can talk about this 4 years from now, not doing the project, and then the next set of commissioners come in. We've had this bond for what, 4 years now?
More than that.
More than that. And we're still talking about these same
2020.
5 years, and we're still talking about the same projects, folks. When you talk about transparency and conversations to the public, I guarantee there has been over 30 discussions about a new building. Bishop Park, in jeopardy of not getting done. Why? Because the past administration delayed. We went and had a press conference, dug shovels, had all the officials there.
Disagree.
And we did nothing. We did absolutely nothing. But in 15 months, we're at the point where that's ready to go out to bid. But that's our fault. But you had the same 15 months that we had.
You stopped it from
You
going
didn't
out
want
to
to get
bid.
anything done. That's the problem. Now that we want to get something done, I am sick and tired every month we come up here that there's a problem or we want to make it out like there's some problem. Just help us do better and do the right thing. That's all I'm asking. A 5-0. This was a great meeting. Bipartisan, all votes.
Go ahead, Commissioner Tucky.
I'm not going to keep going back and forth.
Case in point, we don't need a new firehouse. That's a beautiful building.
We're conducting
have
township
44 million.
business.
We don't
We're
have-
conducting township
It was
business.
not 44 million.
We are going, Commissioner Tucky is speaking right now. Commissioner Tucky is speaking right now.
Circus numbers.
Okay. I'm not going to keep holding, I'm not trying to hold anyone up here tonight. I just want us to be smart with how we're spending taxpayers' dollars. And I don't think, I believe, of course, the police need to have their areas fixed up. I really, like I said, wanted them to have a brand new facility. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. And you talk about, us not doing anything. The plans are right back there in the corner. End of 2023,
Got some of
we
the
had it
extras
ready to
anyone
go
else
out for
look
bid.
at.
And that got stopped by the current administration that came in, correct?
How can we
Correct.
stop it in 23? I
Correct.
wasn't here. I got
Yeah.
seated in
Correct.
24.
Not in
Beginning of
23.
2024.
Not in
I got seated
23.
in 24, so how did I stop it from going to bid?
End
It
of
makes absolute-
23 is accurate.
Well, in the 23, you
The
had the majority.
I'll clarify. What I
Before the
think,
after the election,
what I
it got
think you're
stopped.
talking about is the solicitor, the former solicitor reached out to me as the member that was on the board and said that he wasn't going to put it out to bid. It was ready. And that was November, like after the election. I think that's what you're referring to. Solicitor Kevin Hall reached out to me and said that.
I remember, and I can't go into detail because it was a meeting that we were in, but I remember that and stated differently.
He called me. It was a phone call to me.
But
I don't think we need to beat a dead horse. But
No,
I
we
will
don't.
I will tell you, Commissioner Steele,
That
your
well,
timeline is
before you go,
wrong,
I'm
and
gonna
so are your
let's let
numbers.
Commissioner Tucky finish.
You took control of the government.
We're going to let Commissioner Tucky finish.
You were in here the whole month of November.
Please, just hold on.
Before you were
Just
seated.
hold on.
okay, that's my concern. We got to do things right the first time through. That's really all it is. So thank you.
All right. And again, this is something that's going to make the building safer and create a better work environment for the police, which was the jumping off point of why this is the direction that we're going, as well as we know that there are AV issues. We're doing this on a phone. Like things have to be done before we can get to those other steps. So that's why it's progressing in the manner that it is. That's the logic behind it.
The sediments in the police station, that white powder that was coming down through when we had tours, what's causing that? It's, from my understanding, it was the HVAC system, correct or wrong?
No, it was in the HVAC system, but it was the roofing material was getting, so basically it's styrofoam and the rubber roof is above it. What was happening is every time the door closes from the police department to go outside, it was breaking down the material, to put it bluntly, and it was getting drawn in the fresh air return into the HVAC unit. That's why it sounded like it was the HVAC, but it wasn't. We did look at that multiple times. We had the roofing contractor come in and rectify the problem. It was a roof issue that was causing it, but it was
Up until March 12th, 2025, you had control of the government in 22 and 23. You turned it over to administration. You did nothing. So we can keep bringing up the white powder, the electric, the carpet, whatever you want to bring up, you did absolutely nothing. We're trying to fix the problem now. Can we move forward?
That's not true, but okay.
If the white powder is there and you had control of the government for 2 years and you did nothing, you did nothing. It's still there. We're trying to fix it now. That's simplicity.
The project got delayed. It was ready to go out for bid.
We just
I'm
did.
done.
We're about to fix this in 15 months.
I'm just going to, if it was not ready to go out to bid until, like I said, I believe it was November that the former solicitor reached out to me. And I have a concept plan that is from October 5th, 2022, that anyone can look at if you're interested in. It's a concept plan for the building that, as I mentioned, is in the back. And it has pricing that said 26 to 28 million, but it also said that, where did it go?
That's not 44.
It's smoke and mirrors.
Well, this is from 2022.
You're smoke and mirrors.
This is from 2022. And
I guess-
somewhere in here it says that it's a 16 to 18% soft cost. So you have to do the math.
Right.
You take the 26 times 0.16 times 0.18, add those numbers together, do the same thing then for the 28 million, and those are the numbers. And what they came out to was a range of $30 million to 33 at the high end. So that was in 2022. That's the numbers from the architect. You just have to do the math. It wasn't
It's not
all
44.
included in the number. I have it right here. Anyone that wants to look at it, let me know after the meeting. You can look at it.
But this
I don't
government
think
was
I need to ask a mathematician that it's not 44.
This government
That was in 2022. So if it was 30 to 33 in
And yours
2022.
was 37, and that's
It was
before
not.
COVID. Yes, it was.
Not. It
This
was not.
government was
I have
already.
that printout too that I'll bring at the next meeting.
That's fine. We can put it all up on the website. It doesn't matter.
May I go
But
now?
I have this is from them. It's from Kimmel Brochette. Like,
The-
nothing was ever presented
the
before because it was
lying-
never going to be $37 million.
When your father
That was
gets on
explained numerous
Facebook,
times.
when
That
your
was
father
explained
gets on
numerous times.
Facebook and he puts out a number that it's 44 million, and he doesn't specify that would be today's
Our
rather than
engineers.
when
We
he's-
would be building it
It's-
today if we were building
and
it. We
then
weren't
he
building
puts-
it in 2022.
And then he
That's
puts out a
fast.
number, and yours went down $2 million. Since when do materials get cheaper? We know this, but your number happens to be lower, and ours doubled.
Again, it was
Again,
evaluated
it's your
by
numbers,
Dawood.
your narrative, your fake
They
news.
use the same information and the
and
same
the residents
cost,
deserve better.
a cost of escalation. They use the same.
No, the
They use the
residents
same
deserve
thing
better
to
than the
evaluate
lies,
both.
that come out of your mouths to my left.
They chose in 23 better.
So, but again, we don't have $44 million. We were never building that building. We didn't have 30 million. We didn't have 33 million. That's what it was in 2022.
And we didn't have
that money.
37 either.
Right. And did we build that building?
No.
Right.
Put a stop to your out of control spending.
Right. No, that was never going to be the plan. That's been explained numerous times. People can go back and look through that.
That's right.
But
I just got one more comment.
Go ahead.
I'll say this. If you were so conservative and worried about the taxpayer money, when you came into office and you took control of the administration, there was already a building in process. There was only $160,000 spent so far on architects. Follow me here. But in 2022, we fired that architect, hired a new architect, and spent $1.6 million. So you already spent $160,000 on an architect. The building was in progress. So when you take over, you continue the same thing. Why would we fire that architect and then spend $1.6 million? No, I'm just speaking in general. Why would we spend $1.6 million to redesign another building? That makes absolutely no sense.
Because it was 37 million and the prior board only borrowed 20.
Let me finish, please. I'm not going to interrupt you. I promise you, I'm not.
Because the prior
This
board only
doesn't
borrowed
add
20.
up. This is where the smoke and mirrors. So if you don't like what the current architect has, then you continue to work with him. You don't fire them and then spend an additional
When they tell you it can't be any less than 30 million
point
even
out
without the
again,
fire station.
For the public, that architect that was
You're at a dead
selected, that once Mans Woodward was fired, Kimmel Brochette was selected. That's the architect that designed the Taj Mahal building that Commissioner Zubek campaigned against.
Well, that's
We
because
spent
the manager wanted the Taj Mahal.
$250,000 was spent for that building that never got built.
Your logic
We're moving
is backwards.
forward. We're moving forward. We have to do something. We have to spend the money. So we're going to do something that is beneficial for the staff that we have, because that's what they deserve, as well as what's responsible for the taxpayers.
The residents
Go ahead,
are smart
Commissioner
enough
Tucky.
to know that your logic is backwards.
Okay, the big difference between the two plans, the plan they're moving forward with has a brand new firehouse. We have 4 firehouses in this township. I know the majority of the public do not want another firehouse. We need to use the 4 we have. We really do. That was the big difference of the plan. You want to talk why we changed the architect? That's why.
You don't even know you spent $1.6 million. You didn't
Are
even
you
know.
going to keep interrupting me?
We knew we weren't spending 37.
40.
Well, just so the
44.
public understands, that's what's coming, a
44.
brand new firehouse behind the township building. I want all
With
the
the police
best for our-
station,
I want
public safety building.
I want all the best for our police and fire.
We had a commissioner who told us.
This is not going to be a back and forth. I need you to please refrain. You have visitors' requests and comments coming up if we ever get to this vote, and then you can come up and say whatever it is
I'd
that
like
you'd
to
like.
move to a vote.
I agree.
I'm fine with that.
I agree.
Okay.
Yep.
Secretary Assab, did you want to?
Can I
Yes.
just add one thing? And I think this is very important to highlight about the police department and chief. If I'm out of term with this, please let me know. But I just want to express that this kind of really got kicked up again by the police department. We have had multiple workers' comp claims over the past several years due to health issues, and we're trying to resolve that by doing this. I think that's our big thing, is we want the health and safety of these men and women taken care of. We've cleaned the ductwork over the years. We've cleaned their desks, we've cleaned the carpet. You know, we're beyond being able to clean anything. It's really at a point where it's, you know, we're at that time where we've got to renovate. We've got to update. So I appreciate you considering this tonight.
Thank you for your work on this.
Yep.
And thank you for spending so much time with us.
Sure, certainly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yes.
Not a problem.
I know how
Thank
much
you.
dedication, hard work it was into all of it.
Yeah.
And
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
job
All
well
right,
done.
Secretary Savage, could you do a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Tuckey,
Yes.
Commissioner Zubek,
Yes.
Commissioner Connolly,
Yes.
Vice President Steele,
Yes.
President Ellis.
Yes. All right, so that is approved. We're up to visitors' requests and comments. You can come forward, state your name and address, write it down if you haven't already spoken, and you may begin your comments, and just please try to keep them to 3 minutes.
I'm going to use the bathroom.
Go for it.
I might go after him.
Trust me, I'm not scared of you.
Okay, so that was a big confusing discussion, to say the least. I'm confused. When I came and took the tour, Superintendent Stauffer, sorry, I'm having trouble calling you that yet. I'm still getting used to that name. Took us on a tour, and that police department is abhorrent, and it is unsafe. And nobody in this room that I can see disagrees with any of that. They shouldn't be there now. I mean, it's disgusting that it has been going on, not just for 2, not just for 4, not just for 6. Correct, sir? It's been going on for years, and you guys have been having to deal with that. We have beautiful firehouses in this township, and yet you all are insisting that we need a new firehouse. No, we don't. We need a new police department, but we can use the beautiful firehouses that are already in existence, and 2 of them which were recently renovated. So why are we wasting taxpayer dollars on renovations if you're going to go with a new firehouse? That makes no sense. Not only does it not make sense financially, but logistically, you want to have one fire department over there. And what about the rest of the frickin' township? We live at the other end of the township. We already are worried. We don't want one firehouse. We want logistically stationed firehouses. That's what we pay our taxes for. You can look at me like I have 3 heads. You can ask anyone about how beautiful these firehouses are, how they can be made to be state-of-the-art. It's a lot less money than building one big firehouse, and how we can get our police somewhere nice where they can conduct their business. Why are we not using our firehouses? Nobody will answer that. You all just want one big firehouse. That's the reason? That's not good enough anymore. Nobody's buying that. You can say the residents want it. I talked to a lot of residents, lived here all my life. Most of them don't know. The ones that do are like, why would we need a new big firehouse when we already have big firehouses that are beautiful? And you're all looking at me, and you know it's true. You know the firehouses don't need to be closed.
Agreed.
Health and safety is the reason that this is the direction.
Absolutely.
Health and safety.
What do you
for
know
our
about that?
firefighters as well.
What do you know about that?
To get proper decontamination, proper equipment, proper.
We can get that in
that's
these
why.
A new firehouse for
That's-
proper
that's why.
decontamination.
That's why.
That's a stupid reason for you to stand there
That's-
and tell me that's why you need.
I don't
a
think
new
it's
fire.
stupid
It's
to make
stupid.
sure that
Think
we
about what
are
you're
doing
saying.
things that make
You
sure
want-
that
you wanna
our
spend
first
our tax
responders aren't
dollars.
taking cancer contaminants home to their family. I don't think that's stupid.
What? You can't even use that excuse anymore. We know.
We're finally doing
So,
something.
yeah,
We're finally
we'll see
doing
about
something.
that. You did something tonight.
Yeah, we're finally
You
doing
argued
something.
again
Exactly.
For the millionth time.
There
we
will
sat
always
back
be
there
arguments and there will be discussion. It was a
had to
unanimous
listen to
vote,
this
though.
again. We, as residents, I, as a resident, do not want our firehouses closed. I do not want one big firehouse. I want them stationed strategically throughout our township. We need at least 3. Talk to any professional firefighter. They will come out here and they will look and in a few minutes say one firehouse is not enough for the size of this township, for the interstate system, for the railroad system,
No
for
one
what's
disagrees with
happening
you.
over on 322.
One's not enough. You're correct. No one disagrees with you. One is not enough.
And that's what it's going to come down to.
You're entitled to your opinion, but this
Yes,
entire
I am.
board agrees
You're right.
that one is not enough, so.
So then how about we keep our firehouses that we already have, get the police a new building, get them out of this
We're going to
unsafe
move forward with the
environment.
plan that was presented and voted on.
And do it that way. Why can't we save money that way?
We're going to move forward with the plan that was voted on.
Exactly.
Yes,
I wanted to get that on record.
for everyone's health and
because
safety. Good, get
you
that
can
on the record
sit
for
there
everyone's
and
health and
you can all
safety.
say
Absolutely.
that you're interested in their safety and
Yeah.
their health.
Yes.
No, you're not. It's obviously
I'm
not the
not
reason why
understanding how
you're doing
that's,
this.
I'm not understanding how
We
that's the
want
case,
our
but-
firehouses kept in service. We pay the taxes.
Yep. So do I. I'm a taxpayer too.
Yes, and we
Yep.
want our firehouses left alone. You can do
Appreciate
what
your
you want
comments.
as far as standards of operation, how many double pools you have or you don't have. We want functioning firehouses that can get to the scene and put water on a fire. That's
what
the main
everybody
point,
wants.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's what everybody wants.
Isn't
We
it?
agree.
You won't answer me, but you know that's the truth. Any firefighter back here will tell you,
Mm-hmm.
it's time to scene and time to water on the fire if you're gonna save any lives or property.
We
You're not
agree.
doing that by putting one firehouse over there. You're letting all of us exposed out that way.
You keep
up
saying
in
this like it's a
Chambers Hill.
fact that there will be one. You keep saying this.
Because that is exactly
What's
what
your
the
opinion?
agenda has
That's
been.
your opinion, and that's fine. You're entitled to
What
it.
is, yeah, that is my opinion, but
Right,
it's not
you're
only
entitled to
my
it.
opinion. Your fire chief stated it in 2016, and so did you.
I wasn't on the board in
And you may have
2016.
too, but I won't quote that, but.
I wasn't on the board in
I never said that.
2016.
Yes, you
I
did.
agree that
Oh my
one
God.
is not enough.
He never said.
You just make stuff up.
Yeah, I agree that one is not
Yeah, so
enough.
do you at the county meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad. Yeah.
So, we don't want our firehouses closed.
Sad.
We want our police safe. They
Yep.
keep us safe, we want them safe.
Absolutely.
And soon, none of this bickering and who spent what and who did it and
Can't
it's crazy.
speak to the
You're all
bickering.
acting crazy up here. It's ridiculous.
Thank you. Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments at this time?
Hey, there's a kid here. There's a little kid here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's what's language back there. I heard it up here.
Justin
Have
Bradnick,
some respect.
3703 Rutherford Street. I just had a couple praises tonight. Kevin, your guys, I work in the same, I plow snow. I oftentimes go to work at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I gotta say, the roads are clear at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So kudos to you. Rough winter with all the ice. So, over the winter time, I like to DoorDash, get me out of the house, make a couple extra bucks for the family. Some of the roads, and I don't want to be that horse. I thought I heard somebody talk about 50th and Dairy last week or something like that. But last Wednesday night in the rain, I don't know if it's Old Packing Street or Rupp Hill Road, there by the 322 one Rams. I almost lost the filling, and I was going 25 miles per hour. That's rough. I don't know if it's state, township, I don't know.
It's township.
It's all over. I DoorDash multiple municipalities, east, west shore. That was probably the roughest thing I've ever experienced. And one other concern I had is Milroy Road and Grace, the new roundabout construction. That's dark, and I got very good eyesight. Same night, Wednesday night when it was raining, I actually came off 322. Everything's 3 foot tall with reflectors. There's no light there. I actually went the wrong way down Milroy Road. Because you can't, with all the barriers, you can't know which way you're turning. I mean, there's a do not enter sign, but by the time you see that, it's too late. I mean, there is a light pole there, obviously it's shut off because they're probably gonna move the pole, but there's a light tower there that's not plugged in. I mean, it's just extremely dark there with so much crap that you can't see where you're turning. And eventually there's gonna be an accident there during the, there probably already was, so. That was my only concern, so I do have to say, we thought the meeting was gonna be over at 8:45.
This is still better than usual.
It is. My son was doing a scout project here tonight. That's why we were here, and he was taking some notes. The Boy Scouts have started their national campaign of selling camp cards, discount cards this spring. So if you see scouts in the neighborhoods knocking on doors, that's what they're doing. Appreciate it if you guys support them. It's just not us, it's national. So you'll see them all out and about. But one last closing thing, we spent 20 minutes arguing about electricity and electrical, is the irony of it is everybody's complaining about electrical, and that thing was flickering like crazy, and everybody's staring at it for 20 minutes. That's the irony of this thing. Just get it fixed, get it done, just do whatever. I'll pay more taxes, just make it work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. With regard to the issue with lighting, is that something that we could potentially reach out to PennDOT about to see?
So that contractor is doing that project. I'll reach out to them and see if we can get them to get those lights turned on. So, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments at this time?
Gary Harvey, 105 South 47th Street. Just one quick comment. Commissioner Steele, when you were running before the elections, you made the comment to me that you would never vote for a new fire station in Swatara Township. What changed?
I never knocked on your door or polled you. So that ain't the truth. I never knocked on your door or polled you.
I didn't say you knocked on my door.
So you said when I was running during the election, me and you didn't have a conversation during the election. Trust me, I knew you weren't voting for me.
What?
Yeah, I knew that from the
You
jump.
never made the comment you would never vote for
I've never said that
another
comment
fire
to you, Gary.
station in Swatara Township.
You two love to misconstrue
Oh.
every word that is said.
That's a lie.
Appreciate you, Gary.
You know damn well you
Trust me,
said
Gary.
you would never
I haven't
vote
had a-
for
I haven't
another
had-
fire
I haven't-
station in Swatara Township. What changed your mind?
I don't think besides up here I've ever had a 3-sentence conversation with you.
Actually, I saw you talking to him outside that door
Okay? 3-sentence conversation.
when you asked me to come on over and I kept walking.
never makes any comment.
Trust me, I couldn't tell you last time I had a conversation with you.
Doesn't say this, doesn't say that. He bullshits.
Hello. My name is Lisa Nider, and I live at 6140 Hawker Drive. And I'm just going to ask you, could you please pull up that map again of the warehouses? And while you're doing that,
it's
because I wanted to show you guys. It's funny because when he was describing the project and what it borders, he did not say anything about Hawker Drive. And I want to point out to you where Hawker Drive is on that map. It goes right past those warehouses. Okay, so he said Penhar, he said Mushroom Hill, and he said 322. And he said nothing about Hawker Drive. And that is right in our backyards. Listen, guys, when Smith Land submitted their proposal back in 2022, they submitted the same plan that CRG had submitted that the Commonwealth Court had already said did not belong there. So I don't even know why we are entertaining this or how they got this far. Commonwealth Court had already said to CRG, no, that does not belong there. And Smith Land turns around like a little kid and does the same thing after having already been told no for that plan. So, since you won't bring up the photo of Hawker Drive, I want to let you know there's about 20-some houses that property, the backyards meet. It's going to lower the values of our homes by at least 11%. The deemed approval didn't happen in 2022. That was false information that you gave tonight because they did not advertise it until a few months ago. And when they advertised it in the Hummelstown Sun. Why don't you look up Hummelstown Sun? Look at their website. This property is in Swatara Township, Harrisburg, PA. The Hummelstown Sun covers Hummelstown, Hershey, and Palmyra. You guys said the deemed approval went uncontested. Well, who would have thought to look in a neighboring community's paper for a deemed approval when they don't even cover our area? Okay. So, I just wanted to bring those things to your attention. I'm not sure how we're going to proceed with a warehouse development that the Commonwealth Court, when CRG tried to put it in, said no to. The same issues, the same concerns, they still exist. Okay. So I'm just going to ask Mr. Solicitor just to research up on that so you know what's going on and you're ready to compare this plan with the last plan. Same with you. Because I called you over the last week and you told me you didn't have something that somebody turned around and found online for me. So, and I just want to say, congratulations to Officer Glass. That was a well-deserved award he received tonight. I did do a ride-along with him. It was a very eventful night. He is proactive. He has a good eye for suspected illegal activity, and he was just so deserving of that. Thank you.
I'm just going to respond to one thing. It's the Court of Common Pleas. It wasn't the Commonwealth Court. The Commonwealth Court was the highest court. It took a while to get to that. It was the Court of Common Pleas that it went to initially, not the Commonwealth Court. The Commonwealth Court is the court that is just below the Supreme Court. So the first step was Court of Common Pleas. So, and then with regard to the advertisement, I do believe Steve, I don't know if you, I believe we had to advertise it in, what is called the Patriot as well. I don't know if you had that.
Yeah, once again, sorry to be of no use with this, but
okay.
I am not familiar with the specifics of the 3 different warehouse cases over 6 years.
Yeah, it's a long time. But I believe it
next
ran
month,
in the Patriot as well.
And it was.
So can you add that to double check on where it ran for the deemed approval that you're talking
It
about?
ran in the Humboldt Sun. You guys announced that at one of your meetings. You said the deemed approval was advertised in the Humboldt Sun on this date. Here's the advertisement.
I'm saying I'm not disputing that. I'm saying I believe it was also in the Patriot News, which we'll get it.
There were
we'll
2
double check
attorneys
on that.
looking for it.
Yeah, but who advertised the deed of approval? That's
We had to, I believe. I think that was part of
Smith Land advertised it, I
Smith Land?
Yeah, I was
believe.
going to say,
Okay.
we just had to agree.
Yes.
Okay.
And one
I
more
know.
thing.
Gotcha.
It
Okay,
was the
okay.
Court of Common Pleas.
Gotcha. Well, then I take that back. I take that back. I don't know
It
where
was
they
the
ran
Commonwealth Court because Wyland messed it up in the Court of Common Pleas.
Solicitor
And we
Weiland
lost.
won the case. Solicitor Weiland won the case. That is completely disingenuous. He absolutely did the work. He told us it was a very low chance of winning.
He won.
He won the case
in Commonwealth Court. He didn't win in the Court of Common Pleas. He won in Commonwealth Court. Like I said, just do your research.
Nothing that the Commonwealth Court
decision said no warehouses.
No, we didn't. The Court of Common Pleas was the initial one.
Yeah, it's the first step. The Court of Common Pleas.
Right.
And it was denied there. And we had to appeal it to the Commonwealth Court. There was an emergency meeting.
It was the county denied it, then it went to Commonwealth Court.
Right.
Commonwealth Court reversed the county decision.
Yeah, and
it says that the Commonwealth Court rejected all of the arguments of the township in the letter that I have right here.
Next month, I will have an outline of all of the warehouse cases for everyone to peruse at your leisure.
It's been presented in public. I don't remember off the top of my head when it was presented by Solicitor Weiland. But yes, we'll welcome another update with regard to what transpired over very many years. Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments at this time? All right. If anyone has any possible stormwater violations, you can come forward and state them. I don't see anybody getting up. Commissioners' requests and comments, additional business and correspondence. Commissioner Tuckey.
Yes, I'd just like to announce there's a program called Grief Share. I gave people with information about this program in the fall of this past year. Unfortunately, I wanted to announce it at a meeting a few weeks ago and I forgot. But they're having a lot of meetings. It's at Susquehanna Valley Church, 6433 Union Deposit Road, Tuesday evenings from 7 to 8:30. It's a great program. It really does help a lot of people. If you're grieving loss of loved one, friends, there's really good people that are taking the time to put this program together. And I have a lot of respect for all of them that are doing this. It does help. I know people that went through the program. It definitely helps. So I request to please put it on the website for the township and also the Facebook, please. I can send that to you. Or,
Don't have it.
okay. Look, when it comes down to everything, I mean, after we made comments last week, we're the first to go. There was stuff stated towards the end by Commissioner Still and Commissioner Conley. With me, it's never been politics. It's not about party. It's about doing what's right. It has been that way. And tonight, the gentleman said about going back and forth about electric and the lights in here and stuff, and I understand what he's saying. But the thing is, if we don't use the taxpayers' money wisely and do it the proper way and steps that you should be doing it, we're not benefiting the taxpayers. And there's no doubt, I'm for doing anything we can to help the police make things better. We have a great police service. They're great people. Officer Glass, he's well deserving of that award tonight. The fire end. I have never said anything negative about our fire members that serve. I don't agree with the direction we're going in with the top leadership, but it's nothing against the firefighters. It never has been. I want the best for them. And to state that you need to build this brand new building for decontamination, that can be done at our firehouses we have now. It's not that expensive to do so. The cost of this firehouse, I believe, from a meeting I was in, I don't know if it's changed or not, just that part alone is millions and millions of dollars that we don't need to spend. Do you know the accurate amount for just the fire end alone?
It's out in the, anyone can look at it when you go out. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Okay,
No.
well, not to get in the weeds or anything, but I know the majority of the public do not want to build a brand new firehouse to put behind this township building. They didn't want it a few years ago, and I know that has not changed. That opinion has not changed. We definitely want the 4 firehouses we have in our township open back up. And like I said, it's not political with me. It never has been. It's trying to do the best we can for the residents. When it comes to spending funds, I just want us to do it right. It's not necessarily the plan I wanted to put forward, and we did have it ready to go out. It was ready to go. Things changed in the last election. It is what it is. I know the police were definitely covered 100%. Brand new admin building. And the nice thing about that building, on top of all that, highway was taken care of 100%. Nice facility. Everything, it took time to go through it because everything was thought out. We don't have the opportunity to mess up something or forget something when we're dealing with the kind of money that was being looked to spend on that project. And I know that was put together properly. The plans are still there. Unfortunately, we're going in the direction with not using those plans. Out there on the table, it states $44 million for our project that we had put together and $24 million for the project they're moving forward with. I know for certain it was 37 plus before inflation for their plan that they had put together. They realized they didn't have 37 million at the time. This was roughly 2020 range from that. It wasn't 2020, 2021 in the 2, I guess. 2021, 20, when Mansworth was worked with. they tried scaling it down because they realized, of course, you don't have $37 million to build this. From my understanding, it got shaved down to about $28 million, and that was before inflation. You look out there and there's the sign out front there with the $44 million for our project and $24 million for theirs. The engineer, Dellwood, they came up with those figures. It's not accurate. There's no way it's accurate. And the only way you're going to get possibly to that point is by cutting corners, putting Band-Aids over things. I truly believe that. I wouldn't say it. And I know the electrical in here should be replaced. The boxes should be replaced. I know in today's construction, they wouldn't be allowed to be used. And yet we're going to spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to put, make it modern, is what we were told. We do something, I want to do it right. I don't want to go back through and have to redo and redo. It makes no sense. And the whole time we've been on the board, we have been totally trying to watch out for the taxpayers and try to be real careful with how we spend the tax dollars. I just want to thank everyone for coming out, and I hope everyone has a safe drive home and a nice evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Zubek?
I'm not going to repeat, what Commissioner Tuckey stated, but I echo his comments. But I'd also like to address the Rupp Hill Road complaint. As we were told that we did absolutely nothing, but that was actually one of the roads that we set out to fix. And we borrowed a low-interest loan from the Dauphin County Infrastructure Bank to repair Rupp Hill Road because we had other complaints. And frankly, it's one of the worst roads, if not the worst road in the township. So I agree with Mr. Bradnick that road needs to be fixed, and he left before I could actually say, thank you, and also welcome his son, for his Boy Scout project. I'd also like to go into, and I could dispute the numbers from last week pretty easily. I'm not going to go in. We spent a lot of time at the end of a meeting when everybody thought they were getting out of here. So I'm not going to go into a lot of, back and forth on the numbers, although I think the residents in the township, if you want to call, you want to ask about the numbers, give me a call, because I have the information. I have information on the fact that the board prior to me, back to 2018, spent more money than they brought in every single year. We cut spending. Inflation killed us, but we cut spending, and I can show you those numbers. Also, congratulations to Officer Glass on a well-deserved Officer of the Year award, and I want to thank the residents for coming out this evening, and thank you for your time. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Commissioner Connolly?
I touched on a lot of subjects. Number one, we just had an anniversary here in the township. The first K9 that we brought back in 2018, Kicks, I'm not going to say the age of Kicks, but when we got Kicks from Castle K9, would have been around March 8th, 2018. That was a proud day in the township. We had no K9 program. Now we have 4 K9s that are on patrol, and we have an additional K9 that is used as a therapy dog in schools. So that was huge for the township. But it also makes me kind of sad because a K9 usually only does 7 or 8 years of service. So unfortunately, and we hope Kix lives a good long life. Kix is starting to get some health issues now, and unfortunately he's nearing the end of his career here. So it was 7 years ago this week that we started that program up again with Kix, and I'm very proud to be a part of that program. I just want to throw this out there. It was commissioners up here on this board that ended that program over a little bit of money. They got rid of canines in the township years before. I got to have the oversight of public safety. I think it's a great program, and it does really, well for our townships and our citizens that we have that back. So I'm really proud to be a part of that. I want to thank the county Commissioner Priest for his work of basically loaning us a crew that's going to do work here in the township that was already working in other places. For now, no cost associated with it, but if it comes down to it, we're willing to pay our fair share. Officer Glass, I can't say enough about him. Proud to know that I was there when he was graduating from the academy. He's done incredible things. You probably saw a viral post, many of you saw this, where he helped a person up the street at one of the restaurants in the township that didn't have funds. I mean, he resolved it in an incredible way. He took money out of his pocket, and it was just really neat that was captured. We have Coffee with a Cop on Friday, 12 to 2 is that the time, at Gura's Spice House on Dairy Street. I've been to that restaurant before. I don't partake of the spices as much as, or I'm going to call him Chief, even though he's the superintendent. The man can eat fire. I don't know how he does it, but just come, even if you don't like spicy food and you just want to have coffee and talk. It's always entertaining. Kevin, I like the sweeper that was already out in February. It was 2/28, but it wasn't a leap year, so I guess it was the last day. In February we got that out. That's another thing for the citizens. Chief with the care team. I saw that we saw the names of the people on there. I don't want to say them now in case there's some confidentiality, but we have 4 incredible police officers that are on that care team partnering with Dauphin County. And now I'm going to touch on the warehouses. Okay. When I was a commissioner, the warehouses were not coming in. We had won the court case. Another group came in with a different attorney, and things got screwed up. Okay, we're gonna get a breakdown on the time there. But I'm amazed that the people who were here and were in charge when things got screwed up don't seem to get any heat on the subject. And somehow it was looped into a time period that Commissioner Steele and I weren't even here. The warehouse problem started on April 5th or 6th. Township had 60 days to follow the law. Township didn't follow the law. I'm somebody that follows the law. I don't gamble. I don't say somebody told me, I heard, I think, all this I was told. That's not how it's supposed to work. We're supposed to be doing the best thing for you. There's no gambling. Incredible gamble was taken. They disregarded the paperwork from 3 entities. We're hearing about one warehouse now. There were 3 entities that came in that day. So don't think the warehouse thing is over. We have a large tract of land on East Park that also wanted deemed approval. We have a large tract of land that's being redeveloped as the mall. The 3 of those came in here, followed the law, had attorneys, did what they were supposed to do, and the Board of Commissioners, who advises the solicitor at the time, did the wrong thing. But nobody's saying anything about that tonight. It wasn't the 3 in the middle. Let's put it that way. So then we go back to this building project. The estimates out there were not done by me. They weren't done by anybody on this board. They were done by our engineers. And we hear that our engineers can get traffic lights and save people at intersections. They can inspect all these other buildings. But when it comes to the price of this building, we don't believe our engineers. Because the people that really socked it to us and put a $44 million product out there won't own up to that now. They were told it wasn't that. They heard it wasn't that. I go on facts. Those are facts from the engineer. Commissioner Steele is right. $160,000 was spent engineering the $24 million project, which also included those renovations you heard for this building. Included the renovations. We heard from one of the commissioners up here that it would be $13 million to renovate this building. So instead of doing that, they would spend more to tear it down. Poor use of money. But we hear from people that we're spending the money in a bad way by renovating. No one, I don't know anybody up here, whoever said there's going to be one firehouse. Earlier in the meeting, the woman that came up and said there was only one firehouse asked questions about firehouse number 2 in Rutherford. She was concerned that it was bought. So that's Rutherford. That's a new one. Gets built here. Chambers Hill, we've been working with Mary Klaus to try to have 3 in the township. The story of...
Just keep going, please.
Yeah, we weren't working with you. We're working with Mary.
Just keep going.
Okay, so I'm wrapping it up here. Rupp Hill Road, was on a project list for the township. It's online. You can look it up now. Look up the capital improvement project list. It was on there. It had funding to do it. This group came in and borrowed money to do a project that's not done now. So we're trying to straighten that out. If you followed the news, there was some questions about the borrowing that involved.
That is ridiculous.
No, true.
Absolutely
true,
ridiculous.
If you follow the news.
It's because
I'm
you
going
like
to keep
to
going. These are
lie.
my commissioner's comments, and I did not
And you know
interrupt
what?
anybody, and
if
I'm
you're
wrapping
gonna
it
call
up.
me out,
And this is a
then
sign
you
when
should-
people
you should be
don't
able to
have facts, they
respond
interrupt.
in a proper manner
So,
and not
here we
lie.
go. Here we go. I'm not lying. Everything I said
You
is
are
true.
a liar.
Commissioner Zubek was against the Taj Mahal. Her running mate was the Taj Mahal. It was George Milakovic who was the person in charge
you
of,
were the
that,
Taj
of
Mahal.
that building. I wasn't.
Yes.
No. Again, I'm going
Yes.
to tell the truth here. I was on a board with 9 people. The other 8 were Republicans.
You
How
borrowed
would I
$20
tell them
million.
what to do? I'm a Democrat.
Rupp Hill Road. We needed
here we
money
go.
for
I'm going
Rupp
to
Hill
finish
Road
up. I'm going
because
to
your
finish up my
$20 million
comments.
building
I'm
project
about
that
to
you said
finish
was
up
for
my
capital
comments.
projects was-
I'm going to
was
finish up my comments in
37
one more
million.
sentence.
Well, then stop lying.
I'm not lying. This is the amazing thing. Tonight, after 45 minutes of what we should do, okay, we've already advertised what we're going to do, and there's a legal process. Once we advertised this yesterday, has to be out 24 hours before. So once we advertised this yesterday and it was sent out, we're pretty much on the path to doing that. And you saw great government here. I'll give everyone up here credit. You saw great government at the end. After 45 minutes of why they weren't going to do it, we had a 5-0 vote to do the right thing. We just heard complaints as to why they didn't like it. And then after voting 5-0, one commissioner up here then said, don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Okay? I'm not listening to anything you're saying. I'm wrapping this up. 5-0 vote. And then the commissioner, after voting 5-0, said he only wants to do the right thing. So again, critical of it. And I appreciate everybody that comes out, but everybody that comes up to that microphone certainly isn't speaking for the township or the best interest of the township. It's unfortunate that we have people that are disgruntled over certain issues that mainly were caused by the people they support. Thank you.
Vice President Steele.
Yeah, I'd like to touch on a couple different plethora of issues, starting with Rupp Hill Road. Essentially, Rupp Hill Road, the $1.7 million was borrowed to prop up your budget. That's all it was. You put it in a separate fund. It was not allowed to be put that way.
Absolutely not. It was for a specific project, so you couldn't
Please
waste
stop
money.
interrupting, Commissioner Zubek, please.
So
we could get through these.
Treasurer
please.
Yarzynski, did the auditors make us make an adjustment of the 1.4 million that we borrowed from Rupp Hill Road?
So you're already aware of the audit report? You've been in there asking the auditors before the report's
This
out?
is a previous audit report that was
Don't you-
discussed in public. Please stop interrupting. It is not your turn to speak.
Do you know the Rupp Hill Road was in 23 and those books are already audited?
Just
I'm not
please
sure
continue with, we're not
Again,
doing this. We're not doing this.
this
We're
will
going to
show
get
you
this
how-
meeting over with.
Thank you. This will show you how certain individuals that was a president and the chair of finance don't pay attention.
Oh,
Treasurer Yarzynski, the Rupp Hill Road bond was taken out in 23. Is that correct?
Yes, December,
Okay, and what was the amount of the Rupp Hill Road bond?
about 1.4.
And when we took out the Rupp Hill Road bond, essentially it was used to carry over into 24 to prop up 24's budget because we actually showed it as revenue in 24 and the previous administration's budget. Is that correct?
It went into the general fund as a revenue.
Right, even though we had already received the money in 23.
Yes.
And the audit, let me finish, please.
That's not true.
That is true.
No,
And the auditors made us make that correction because we had already received it as revenue in 23.
But then what?
Would that be correct?
The $20 million. Do?
Okay.
That was also factored in.
Were we doing about 7% a month in interest on the bond?
Yes.
That came out to about $98,000 a month in interest, correct?
Yes.
And that was the whole way through 22 and 23.
Yes.
So that would have gave us about $1.1 million per year in interest.
Yes.
Why did we borrow the money? We didn't need to. We were making $1.1 million a year just in interest alone. So if you needed
Because you had a $20 million building project.
Can I finish, please?
You borrowed $20 million. You had a capital budget plan.
You're missing it.
Commissioner Zubek.
You're missing it.
If you continue to interrupt, then we're going to have to turn your mic
I'll
off.
show it to you.
Everybody wants this meeting to end. Please stop interrupting.
If you let me
Please
finish,
stop
I'll
interrupting.
explain it to you so I can
The engineers that funded your campaign were
This
the ones that told us
is
to
going
put
to
in
be
for the
my last
infrastructure
warning.
plan.
Brendan, can you turn off everyone's mic except for
Please.
Shane,
Funded your
please,
campaign.
for right now?
I'm okay
Thank
with showing
you.
my campaign finances. Not one engineer bankrolled my finances. Not one engineer bankrolled my campaign, and I ran on that clean money. So here's what I'll tell you. So we were getting.
Just keep going, please. You have the mic. Just keep going.
And now they do everything they tell them to do, whether it's true or not. Why are those numbers out in the hallway?
Please just keep going.
Why are they there? Because engineers.
If you don't go, then I'm going.
Okay.
I'm gonna be done.
I'm done with this. I just don't want to talk over her. I want to give her an opportunity. So the township in 2022 and 2023 and into the beginning of 2024 had the bond invested in Pliget. And in Pliget, like I said, we were doing about $1.1 million a year in interest. So when you have $1.1 million a year in interest over a 2-year span, you're going to end up with $2.2 million, right? So if you're going to end up with $2.2 million, why would you take out a loan for 1.4 when your interest will give you that 1.4? Because the moment that we took out the Rupp Hill loan bond, that triggered another payment that your taxpayer dollars had to pay for. It's essentially another loan. What happened was, going into the 24, we didn't make the budget. The budget was made in 23. So even though we got the revenue from the Rupp Hill Road bond in 23, they showed it in their budget in 24. Well, you already got the revenue. You can't do that. So you would have been short about 1.7. That propped you up by 1.4. So that's why we're at a loss right now. And the auditor's corrected. It's in the audit report. It was a 23 audit report. So we didn't change anything. We didn't get anything ahead yet. The auditor showed us this, and these are the corrections that are made. And I will refer you to, if you refer on the township website, and when you go to the township website, search PFM. And when you look at PFM, look specifically at page 6 and page 7. And page 6 and page 7 is going to show you that they took it in revenue in 22, 12.4 million. They spent 15.2. It's also going to show you in 2023 that they took in 14.8 million, but they spent 15.9. But what it's not going to show you on that audit report, because that's just your straight out expenses and revenue, it's not going to show you your transfers from your capital reserves. When they took over the government in 2022, there was $4 million in your capital reserves. Look on your treasurer's report now. There's 1.8. Who took the money? What did we spend it on? We spent it because we didn't pay attention. And I understand that. I totally could understand that when you first take over the government, you might not understand what is actually happening. Because, listen, until I sat with the treasurer and the finance department, I had to understand government accounting because I come from the corporate world and it's a little bit different. But you got to pay attention to what's transpiring. If you let the bureaucrats run the government by themselves unchecked, this is what happens. You get yourself into a situation where you find yourself in a bad financial situation. So then what we did was we optimized employees. You got to cut costs because you can't afford an $18 million budget and their last revenue was 14.8. The math just doesn't add up. If you're looking for the numbers are online. It just does not add up. And I know time and time again, no matter how many times someone spews this lie to you, that the numbers just do not add up. And when we come to the understanding that the facts are here at the treasurer or the PFM report online, I'll say it again, refer to page 6 and page 7 of the PFM report that is on the township website. As soon as you go to there, do a search and search PFM. Believe nothing that I say. The facts will show you and lead you in the right direction. As far as the majority of the public, majority of the public is 15,001 person. Maybe a select few of people want to make the decisions, but I haven't seen 15,000 people direct the size of the government or what they want us to do. But what I did see in 2023 is the township residents vote for a new government. And that sets the agenda based upon the platform that we ran on because they spoke. And when they speak, elections do have consequences. And these are the consequences that you're going to deal with. A correction of the government, correcting your finances, optimizing the employee base here. And then another thing that we did was we decided to take the stormwater, the sewer, and the township, and I talked about this last meeting, and overlap the government to assist us financially. We didn't like intergovernmental agreements. They're the worst thing in the world. But guess what we just did with the Dauphin County DA's office? We just did an intergovernmental agreement.
because it's cheaper and it cut costs. That's multiple jurisdiction of police coming together to create a task force. So the county doesn't have to pay for it. Each individual, you come together and you work together. This nonsense every single month, how we argue over things that absolutely make no sense. We argue over building. That light's going to be fixed. That's part of the thing. They're going to get LED, so the LED draws in here will be less than what these ballasts will be. But you are, excuse me?
Just keep going.
We argue over the light ballasts, this is old, and then you vote 5-0. This is nonsense. We got to do better for the public. And I'm not going to tell my colleagues which way to go or what to say, but at some point, we have to govern, and we got to stop spewing lies to the public. It just does not work, and it won't work for us, and it doesn't work for the public. As far as Officer Glass, I remember when Officer Glass came to the force, because I was in the fire service, and I first met him when he was actually in training. Outstanding gentleman, but I will say this. There's one thing that is consistent about our police force, no matter who you talk to. They're the best in central Pennsylvania. They're a humble group of people. They're meek. They have the, if you see some of the videos online where some people try to make our police look bad, if you look at the level of restraint that a Swatara Township police officer has, it is outstanding, by darn, the best. He's an example of what we have to offer our residents. Same thing with the fire service. Everybody constantly wants to keep talking about the fire service, whether it's on Facebook. Mike Iverson, the fire chief, holds certifications that only 30% of people in the world hold. He is one of the most qualified fire chiefs in the country and through the world, and you want to drag this guy through the mud. So why would you want to drag a guy through the mud that does an excellent job for us? What you don't like is the fire service is progressive. You want to paint this picture that it's bad, but we have better quality firemen and more recruitment and retention than we've ever had. But you want to go back to the way things used to be. The way things used to be is certain people couldn't run fire calls, or you could just go get a pager and get on the call. And this stuff that you ran for a century or a decade, false, fake news, file the right to know, get the reports. You'll see, did not run for a decade or whatever it may be. False news again. That's what we deal with nonstop. Stop fighting against our firemen. Our firefighters are some of the best firefighters in central Pennsylvania. And to put them down for the time and dedication and the things that they do is sad. And I'm going to give you an example. About 3 weeks ago, my family was involved in a vehicle accident, okay? In a vehicle accident in this township, okay? And the response that we got was outstanding, bar none. And when I got there, I had to watch my firemen and my fire chief back there cut my kid out of a car. And they did it with precision. It is probably one of the best scenes I've ever seen in my life. And there was mutual aid there too. And mutual aid had another call and they refused to leave because they wanted to help. So as you want to continue to put down our firemen, I tell you what, my kids and my wife were in a bad situation and they made it better. And I want to give Chief Iverson and his wife a shout out, because as you guys continue to bash him, the hell with him being a fire chief, that is one great human being, because as it stood for 24 hours, that man stood by my kids and his wife while I hopped ER room to ER room, because all my kids and my wife were in different rooms. And they stood by. They helped. He wasn't on the scene. He came when he heard what happened. His wife wasn't on the scene. She wasn't working at Hershey Medical Center. She just came. And then when it was time that my wife and my kids had to leave, but I had to stay with my oldest, guess who came on an hour of sleep? Katie Iverson and Mike Iverson. So you can spew anything that you want about them two individuals. They are great human beings, and they will always be great human beings. Brendan in the back, that guy stayed in constant contact. He was the first one to contact my son. These people aren't bad people. They're great people, and they're great firefighters. That's all I have for the night.
Thank you. The only thing I'm going to say is, with regard to the concept plan that I was referring to for Kimmel Brogette, I misspoke. I said it was 16 to 18% for the soft costs. It is, where did it go? It's 12 to 16%. The numbers I presented are accurate. Do the math if you want to look at this, let me know. I'll send it to whoever. If you want the other one, let me know. I'll send it to you. You can look through what we had. The Mans Woodward project was never finished. The contract was terminated before it was done. That's why nothing was ever presented publicly. I want to say thank you and congratulations again to Officer Glass. Well-deserved award. And I'm just going to talk briefly about trash. We had a presentation during the stormwater meeting that talked about a program that we're going to be engaging in with the county, where 2 days a week we'll have people out cleaning up trash on the side of the road. And that at this time is funded by a grant, so there is no cost to taxpayers. But as residents, you are also able to organize your own cleanups if you're interested in doing so. If you reach out to the township, we'll provide bags, we'll provide gloves, equipment, and you can go out and clean up an area that you choose. Lots of residents have taken advantage of this. We'll also be having an Earth Day cleanup on April 19th, and more information about that will be presented next month, obviously, because we have time. And generally, the location for that cleanup is determined based on what types of cleanups take place prior to that. So we usually don't give the location out super early. It's usually within like a week of the event. So if you're interested in participating, keep an eye on our Facebook page and the website. It'll be on there. So that's all I have for this evening. I'm going to go ahead and entertain a motion for adjournment. Motion second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned at 10:07.